Welcome to another week of Cineverse here on Hyper RPG.
Yeah!
Woo!
Wow.
Wait, we were drumming earlier.
We're drumming on our
Drum line!
snares right here.
Big
Table
cannon.
snare.
Yay!
Excited, very excited,
Everyone's
Adam.
excited to be here, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
This week is a very special episode. It is the last episode of this month, so we are talking about TV stuff.
Woo!
Very excited about talking about TV stuff. We're also gonna end this episode with a movie review because hey, Pirates of the Caribbean came out.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
only two
Oh my
people
God.
here have seen it so far.
I
yeah,
spent
baby.
this weekend actually doing a watch along of the first Pirates of the Caribbean on my channel with my friend
Cool.
Lonnie because we are both like super into Will Turner. Like so there's a lot of squealing. There was a sword fight. It was great.
Here's
such
a
a good
little
movie.
trivia
I hope it's as
question
good as
for
the
you.
first one.
Well, I guess we'll give it away, but I guess I'll just tell you. Johnny Depp actually got an Oscar nomination for his portrayal of Jack Sparrow in that first movie.
That's true.
What?
That's
What
very
was
true.
the question?
Best supporting?
That was the question. It was like, which of the actors? But it's like, well, it's Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
Depp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. He lost to Sean Penn for Mystic River,
Mystic
I think.
River.
Right?
Yeah.
Really
Ginger Peony says, I saw two against my will. That sounds like a harrowing experience. I'm so
Yes, sir.
sorry.
Will.
Do you guys remember when the first one came
Probably
out,
better
though?
than
Baywatch.
Because it
Baby.
was so exciting.
Okay, so
The
my-
music
my
was
friends
so
and I-
iconic.
My friends and I dressed up for it, and not just for the first night, but like every time.
Oh,
we went to see
it was my
which
favorite
at
thing
least 10
that
times
year.
in theaters.
It was my
That's
favorite
awesome.
thing.
And then I got my school orchestra to play the music.
I did it too.
Oh my God! Same arrangement.
And we just
Oh,
love
great.
reminiscing about 2003.
Yeah.
That's our favorite year.
Great year.
Good year, good year.
To this day, my driver's license, which I haven't changed the picture of because I didn't really need to, I'm wearing the medallion.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
picture.
It was. I was blown away. High
was
school
blown away,
Danny.
too.
I went on a date. Oh my god. Anyway,
Tell
that's
us,
a
tell us.
different
No,
conversation.
Hello.
Memories.
Let me tell you something that
Land
it was
ahoy.
not a great date with the dude, but I loved the film.
Was that the first
I
time you
think
saw the movie?
Yes.
And then it was your first date?
And I was like, hey, thanks for going to the movies with me. I loved it.
But you not so
bye.
much.
Yeah.
I had one of those the next year with Spider-Man 2. I remember
Yeah.
I went, had a not great date, and at the end she was like, we should go see the next Spider-Man when it comes out in 2007. And I was like,
years?
yeah, totally. I never, that did not happen.
God.
That
And
did
then you
not
watch
happen.
Spider-Man 3, you're like, oh God, thank God. I don't need to be depressed twice.
Oh man,
in
dude,
one night.
Spider-Man 3 was a bummer because I was waiting in line. It was back when you had to like wait in line for hours to get a good seat. I was the first in line, and Robert DeCoste, I probably shouldn't say his name, but Robert came out of the movie theater before, and he was like, we were in the front. He's like, it's the best. It was so good. And I was like, oh great. And then I saw it, I was like, oh.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, there's a new editor's cut coming to Amazon. So
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm
It
really
accidentally-
curious about
It
that.
accidentally leaked today, and then they pulled it.
2007, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's 2 minutes shorter.
So he didn't get the booty.
I will say that movie coming out made the line like 3 hours long, 3 or 4 hours long.
Pirates was the
And
same
they
after that.
changed it, and so Johnny Depp ended up being, of course, as you know, Jack Sparrow being so iconic that they
Yeah.
went and they changed the.
I don't like that
ride.
they added so much Jack
I
Sparrow in it. He's in
know.
multiple scenes.
The
And
best
Yeah.
part of when you make Jack the focus of the movie. Well, I mean, we'll get.
I like him at the end.
Oh.
I like him
think
at the end.
He's
We
better
all-
as a side character.
we were
Like-
just every time
Oh,
we bring
yeah.
up Pirates of the Caribbean, I say this. Oh my God, it's so funny.
oh,
Well,
duh.
have you guys seen the movie posters? Because one, it was like, okay, we have Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. Okay, we have Johnny Depp as okay, it's just Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Like I think that
No.
third
Pirates
movie,
3.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it's
like
just him, and I'm like-
just him in the movie poster, so they know what was, and I agree. Sometimes I think that they're banking too much on the actor.
But we were
Sometimes.
yeah, it's basically what needs to happen is he's too much of a wild card and kooky character. It needs to be him coming into like these prosaic kind of tropey stories, and then like being the wild card that messes everything up.
But
like the
also,
catalyst.
but at the same time, like he has this, he's this wild card, but he also has like a lot of experience and wisdom under his belt that in
Yeah.
the early movie, like the first movie, it really shows. Like
Yeah.
they're like, you're the worst pirate ever. You have heard of me, and like he does things. It's like, oh, like that's why he's
So he
actually
has a
good
legend.
Come on, his
Yeah.
entrance into the movie is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Like
On
and
the
that's, I
sinking
think
boat,
that's
I'm like, oh.
I think
great.
we start missing that
Perfect
later on
entrance.
is that like that experience and that wisdom doesn't
He's
show up
just,
later.
Oh, he's so kooky. He's doing such crazy things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
No, it's true.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Also, we've been talking about 5 minutes. We didn't even introduce anybody on this show.
Everyone knows.
you know me,
Alright.
Erica and Hector, but we have two very special guests here today.
Yeah,
Oh, Erica, I think your mic might be a little.
Oh, and can you guys still hear me?
Lucas has got it.
Lucas,
Thank
Lucas
you.
will figure it out.
Here to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, and just to generally hang out. Matt Acevedo, you know him.
Hello.
Shy Guy Express.
Yay!
He's the best. He's the
Oh.
nicest guy in the world.
Oh, thanks, man.
He's the
He really
nicest
is.
We went
guy
to
in
see
the
La
world.
La
Hey,
Land
thanks,
together
man.
on Saturday. It was
Yeah.
very romantic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did see La La Land together. It was great.
And then we went. We had
Was
a
Minzwe
dinner.
there? Minzwe was there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had dinner at 12 o'clock. We didn't get out until 2:30 because holy crap!
Oh man, but that
service
security guard
terrible.
was so nice. We were
Security
like,
guard was
so,
nice.
It was a wrong impression.
The
Yep,
Hollywood
yep,
Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good old bowl,
Yeah.
man.
Took forever to get
Good
out.
one.
And to my direct left, continually celebrating the release of this week's Wonder Woman. I think until the next month.
No,
November.
till the next movie
Till the
comes
till
out.
Wonder Woman 2
Guys,
comes out
I
and is
cannot-
announced.
I wore this even on my Krillin.
Come on.
Because I gotta rep my girl. It
Danny
is her
Fernandez.
week.
Danny
Exactly.
Fernandez, everybody!
It is her week. It is her week.
It's
Yeah.
her week this week, at least. It's all Wonder Woman shirts every day.
Every
and then
day.
I've run out of them. So
Yeah.
And in the chat is our buddy Agustin Rios, El Santo Taco. Say hi to him. He is working a 12-hour shift,
Oh,
working hard to
saint,
make the
man.
movies you love or probably won't go see in theaters. So he's working hard.
no, he had I feel like he's had a couple that.
Oh, he's worked on some
He
good
worked on
ones.
Pirates.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Two
Pirates.
people here went to go see.
Yeah. I actually worked in the
Did two
trailer
or five
house
isn't
for
bad.
Pirates.
Oh, you did you?
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
For this
That's
new
my
one,
big, that was my big PA experience was that.
I'm
Wow.
so intrigued by trailer houses and how they work and how
Yeah.
they like
Yeah.
cut
I got
trailers
a
in.
listen. I got a buddy who works at one, and I've asked him to come and be on the show, but he works a night shift, and I'm always like,
man.
dude, if you ever have a Tuesday night off, you have to come because he worked on like the Fate of the Furious trailers. He worked on like a bunch of Marvel movie trailers. Like worked on them. They get to see early cuts of the movie.
Oh, I wonder
He
if
was
works
sitting
on
on.
the same one as the same one.
Possibly,
Yeah.
possibly, but he sits on secrets for movies, and when Fate of the Furious came out, he's like, well, as soon as you see this movie, Hector, text me because I have to talk to you about something. And he's like sitting on this thing that he knows about the movie for months and months,
Whoa.
and yeah, so also curious about trailer houses. Hopefully, we
Nice.
can get him,
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
buddy
that'd be
Kyle,
great.
to come and be a guest
I could
sometime.
probably get someone from the one I used to work at too. Like there's
Dope.
we did
yeah.
Justice League. We did Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah,
we just
man.
Did what Pirates like.
Cool,
Yeah. So yeah, man.
cool, awesome.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that'd be good. We could do like a just trailer focused show where we review trailers and talk about that kind of thing. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
History of trailers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else are we talking about tonight, Adam?
Lucas, how you doing back there, bud?
I'm doing okay. Full disclosure, I'm dealing with a lot of software bugs.
Oh no.
So for all of you in the chat room, you do not have to tell me. Believe me, I know, and your fingers
guy.
will get tired from telling me what's wrong because it is an endless process tonight.
We
gotta
love
do
you,
that.
buddy.
It's
Gotta do
worked
that.
out live.
Gotta do that Adobe update. Just gotta
Yeah.
finally commit.
I fucking wish there were an Adobe streaming software.
Are you listening, Adobe? Are you listening?
Is it a Java? Is it a Java thing?
You need
no.
Flash.
I don't know.
It's in the bottom of the.
I don't know if
screen.
anyone else
Sometimes
is-
It'll be like or QuickTime. Sometimes it'll.
Mine is
Yeah, I need
always
an
update.
QuickTime.
my laptop is always now, and I'm like, nope. Maybe
Yep.
tonight.
Remind me
Nope,
tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Remind me
Nope,
never,
still
you
not
stupid
gonna feel-
laptop.
Yeah. Thank you, Lucas.
You're the
Oh,
best,
yeah.
Lucas.
We love you,
You're the
bud.
best.
Yeah.
Love
Hey,
you.
you got any housekeeping back there?
Yeah, let's talk housekeeping. So tonight, guys, for $25, and we did this last week. For $25, you can submit a trivia question, and at the end of the show, we are going to do a trivia portion where we're going to hand out some buzzers to these guys, and whoever rings in first gets to answer, and we'll keep track of the score. And then at the end, they get to win all the pride and glory of winning the trivia contest. So
Yeah.
tonight, we are going to do TV and movies because this is a TV episodic focused episode of Cineverse. So if you have a TV trivia question, then feel free to submit that as well. But you can also still do movie trivia. So that is, to go through that process, you can scroll down, there's a support button, and then in that support button, you can submit that you would like to tip $25, and then in your tip message, you can put a trivia question, and then once you've done that, you can whisper me the answer, and I will compile them, and then we're good to go. That's all I need. That's all I
Awesome.
need from you. So if you are so generous to do that, all of that money, just know that that goes to support this show directly, and it goes to support Hyper RPG. Keep us all paid and keep us all, like we have healthcare and stuff. That's pretty cool. Very rare here in the entertainment industry.
You guys, you got to help
really
Lucas.
cool
You guys, you got to help
business
Lucas. He's sweating. He
going.
looks like a mess. He's very ill.
He hasn't slept for
He
3
has
months.
pneumonia.
He looks like an extra in a Michael Bay movie right before robots or something attack. He just, look at him.
Very
Oh my
pale,
God.
Very pale.
Hey, thank you, Jeffrey.
Oh, don't answer that yet.
Okay. That's a good one though, Jabberwock.
I don't know
We'll
if
turn that
I'm
off.
allowed to announce this, but I also have a Wonder Woman giveaway that we're doing. Yes.
Oh, what are you giving away?
Well, I have it if someone gets it, but it is a framed piece of my own collection.
Wow.
That I
Wow.
framed myself. Not myself. I took it to a framing place, but yeah.
Oh,
Anyways,
framing ain't cheap, guys.
Yeah.
it
No,
is
it's not.
It's not.
But when you go to cons all the time and you pick up all this cool nerd
Yeah.
art
Yep.
and it just gets rolled up and stuffed into you,
Oh,
like
God, I've
spent you guys hundreds of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
This is where my paycheck. Oh,
Is this
sweet. Yes.
There it is.
Oh, I
Hey,
love
this
this.
is pretty dope. It is a Wonder Woman
DC
framed
bombshells.
print. Yes.
Love it. Love it.
For y'all to have.
The
So.
bombshell Wonder Woman.
And you can have this cool bag that they
Oh,
gave
snap.
me at the premiere.
Stay tuned. You got to watch till the end of the
Zing.
show.
Nice.
That's when we're giving it away. So you got to stay tuned, y'all.
Also,
That's
you
great.
did you, Emma, and Malika did a Wonder Woman non-spoiler review.
And it's so good.
Nice.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so fantastic. Watch it on YouTube if you're a good person. Lucas, any other housekeeping?
All right, Mrs.
Awesome.
Wait,
Doubtfire, lay it on
okay.
us.
Let me say that again. I think that's it.
Okay.
Cool, man.
Okay.
I think we
Ooh.
can get right into it. Do you guys want to jump into this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so first topic tonight, guys. I believe Adam, this was your topic. We are talking about 13 Reasons Why. Adam recently watched it. Now, this show on Netflix has been out for, I don't know, maybe like a month or two. I don't
month,
know
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, about a month. But recently it's kind of come under some scrutiny for its portrayal of suicide. And if you're not familiar with the show, this show follows a high school girl going through a very tough time, and she puts out 13 tapes that are the 13 reasons why she decided to commit suicide. It was I think it's coming under fire because of the way it has portrayed, and it sort of has, I know that I read the article that Adam showed me, and this psychologist's idea is that it's sort of glorifying suicide, and it's telling high schoolers that this is kind of saying that suicide is a legitimate means of getting revenge on people who have wronged you. So it's an interesting topic, and we're going to talk about it. So you have 7 minutes on the clock. Let's get into it.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah, so this is a show that I heard about, and I heard about all the controversy. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then I had a bunch of stuff I had to go do. And then finally, last Sunday or the Sunday before, I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch this show and see kind of what this controversy is all about. And I didn't find it as controversial as a lot of people have said it is. I don't feel like it glorifies suicide. I feel like by showing suicide, it really shows you how terrifying and terrible and horrific this thing can be. Not from just the perspective of the person committing suicide, but also seeing how the family is affected by it. We see her parents from the beginning to the end. You see through flashbacks how her mom especially is this very well put together, very intelligent, very hardworking woman. And then you see her kind of break down throughout the episode. And then the father kind of goes back and forth as well. And you see the struggle that these 2 parents have to go through and how it affects them, how it affects her friends. And it just was really, really powerful. I knew somebody in high school who committed suicide, and I didn't even know them that well. And it affected me so hard. It was like a really hard thing for me to process, for me to deal with. I talked to this person's mother every once in a while, and she was also having a hard time dealing with it and asking people questions of what would lead this person to commit this. So for me, this show, it's more about it. To me, it's not. It's just really being honest about something that's very taboo that people don't talk about.
Right.
And I feel like we kind of need that in our modern society to really just be open and to let people know that there are other options out there and to be honest about this sort of thing and to not. I think Danny and I talked about this. If they would have not shown this girl committing suicide, I think it would have made the other 12 episodes of the show completely irrelevant and useless.
I've heard two things. I haven't seen it myself, but I have heard the two sides. And on one side are people saying it completely glorifies it and that teenagers who really identify it don't have the context to sort of process it in a meaningful manner and might just say, oh, well, that looks very easy. And on the other hand, I have many friends who have struggled with mental health issues and have felt that this is a healthy examination of that and deals with it in a frank way that a lot of media doesn't. A lot of media tends to sensationalize it or kind of gloss over it. This one is very in-depth, it sounds like, and that it really addresses mental health, which is something that there is still a taboo about these days. It's hard. It's difficult to talk to people about it. And then somebody in the chat was saying that they heard that suicide hotline calls doubled and they thought that was bad. That sounds like a good thing to me. Because that means that more people are willing to reach out and get
they
help.
also had the number posted, so people that were watching this that related to suicide.
Oh, wow.
I
That's
am
great.
pretty open about that. I had a suicide attempt. If you guys follow me, I tweeted about it, and oh shit. I felt like I wasn't going to get emotional, and now I am. I did want to say that Pablo brought up that it was like, oh, they cast gorgeous people. I mean,
To cash in on it, it's a
but
Hollywood
that's not
project.
true. I mean,
sure.
depression and suicide affects everyone. It is the great equalizer, you guys. Especially
Yeah.
glad that they picked a woman because not only was she dealing with depression, she was dealing with being slut shamed. She was dealing with something that I feel like a lot of my friends and I have dealt with. And when I look back at the reasons why I had 2 attempts, one was when I was a teenager. I was bullied for having breasts. I was bullied for developing early.
Yeah.
And that made me want to overdose when I was younger. And then later on, I had another attempt, but it's like it affects all of it. Like you can't say that depression only affects one type of person,
Right.
and only one type of person is going to be suicidal. So I do think it was important that they showed what can happen to a teenage girl and why she killed herself. I totally agree with Adam that they had to show the scene. It was so difficult to watch, but so necessary because I want people to see how horrific it is. And especially for people that say, oh, like happiness is a choice or whatever the bullshit is that's out there. I just felt like it was necessary. It's something that I, as a survivor, needed to see.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, a lot of times when you deal with depression, you kind of start having those thoughts again sometimes. And seeing that, I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that to myself. I don't want to hurt myself again like that. But and so it was really difficult. But I think a lot of people needed to see it.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing you can do in this kind of situation is to say, and in any situation, is to just tell someone how they feel. Like you don't know what people are feeling, and why has that become a thing in today's society where it's like, no, you can't feel that way. I'm like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna feel how I want to feel because it's you don't know me. You don't know what I'm feeling right now. You know. And especially and with like that kind of like with suicides, it is like everyone, like so many people go through that, and it's like it doesn't single out like any individual, like it's not like one group.
There's no one collective experience.
Like you don't know this person's like lifestyle at school. You don't know how they've been treated with family, which is a huge impact.
But sexual abuse is like a huge reason why and I feel like this is a really difficult topic. And I do know that someone in the chat said it's hard to do right, and I totally agree with that. So I think you are allowed to have your own feeling about this. Sometimes, you know, it might make you feel things that you don't like, and maybe that's why you don't like this. But I don't know if I necessarily feel like it glorified when it was so graphic, you guys. That scene was so graphic. But I do feel like it showed things that happened to this girl that happened to real people in the community.
I haven't seen the show yet. Can I ask a question? You guys were saying that it's like a 13-episode show. 12 episodes are the reasons why, and then they sort of build up to, and in the last episode, you see this character commit suicide.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the alternative would have been, because this happens a lot in Hollywood, is where if a person has mental health issues and they're committing suicide, that it's very glossed over and it's off screen or it's not, you know. Do you think that if the filmmakers or the people behind this tried to do anything else, that it wouldn't be as impactful?
For me personally, yes, because we spend 12 episodes of this build up, and even the build up itself, you feel terrible for this girl.
Yeah.
Because you see how many things she's going through, and she's being pinned for everything. If she likes a guy, she's a slut. If she, doesn't something else, she's this type of, like, she's being judged on every single move that she makes. So you, by the end of the show, you feel for her because you are just witnessing all of these things just building and building and building. I think as people, we've all gone through that where we feel like every week there's something like stacking on top of itself, and at some point you have a boiling point and you break. And some people deal with it differently, and I think that last episode is her finally just dealing with it and just being like, I'm over this. Why am I living this life where I'm constantly being judged, where people are constantly making up stories about me? And I think if the show would have done anything else other than show that, it would have done a huge disservice to the other 12 episodes that came before it that spent so much time with her and even the people around her, to see how these people are all individually broken in their own way, and how they shift blame on each other to basically lead to this girl doing what she does. And I mean, the actors in the show give incredible performances.
Oh yes, this actress was phenomenal.
She was so good. Like,
also,
I felt
she's not even an
heartbroken.
American teen. I was like,
No,
holy
she's
hell,
she's from Australia.
That's not your real accent.
Yeah.
Oh, she sounds like
Wow.
she grew up. I mean,
That's
God.
where they grow all those good actors down in Australia, I guess.
But I do want to say that I feel when I saw that they were doing a season 2, I'm like, y'all, that to me then feels a little like cashing
Exploitive.
in on it.
That's what people in the chat are saying.
What I was talking with Adam with before this is that the one thing I think that they should have done better is what you can do, because they showed what makes a person want to kill themselves, and they showed that pretty well. I don't think that they really showed what you should do, what are the other things that you can do, and I think maybe that's
season
what season 2 is. I feel like,
and I also wonder if they didn't do that because they wanted to just because I feel like when we talk about or we know people that deal with suicide, we don't really think about what are some other alternative options we could have had, or how can we deal with this. It's kind of like, this person committed suicide, next topic. Like, we don't discuss the potential solution. So I feel like maybe the show
can I
did
ask
that
a question?
purposely.
Yeah, to go off of that, maybe in season 1 they decided not to do that, because if people see a movie or a TV show, I'll give you an example, The Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith's character, a real guy who was rock bottom. You see an hour and 55 minutes of sadness and struggle, and 5 minutes of, you got this job that's going to change your life. I feel like we feel relief from that, and almost like, okay, what else is on?
Right.
But
We
the
don't
fact
see
that the
exactly
story,
what
We
kind
can
of
kind of
effect that whole
dismiss
thing
it.
has.
we can dismiss it. If it had a happy ending, quote unquote, it would be dismissed. But the fact that we're talking about this, the fact that it affected people the way that it did, and the story ended the way that it did, maybe you're right, Danny. Maybe season 2 is going to be like, okay, now let's talk about maybe another character, or how what else could have happened. I don't know.
That season ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it does.
There are other characters
Oh,
that are
wow.
hugely affected by other things in that show. They build up 2 separate characters that do 2 very, very different things, and I think that's the thing that intrigues me about season 2 is like, which of those 2 characters are we going to follow, if not both, and how are we also going to deal with closing out the story and also giving some sort of proper ending to that character, or is it going to carry, like, it's intense.
And we say this a lot on the show whenever we discuss topics of mental health, but remember that you are never alone. If you yourself are struggling with this, anybody in this community will step up for you if you need to talk. Any of us, we will respond to you on Twitter if you need to talk. There are hotlines that you can call or text if you don't feel like talking to somebody. But just remember that you're never alone, and there is always another option.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I did want to say, it took me forever to call that hotline, and I finally did it, and it's not scary at all. And they are there 24/7, and I can't believe that it took me so long to call. But
I think the thing that we forget
Scary.
is we internalize a lot of things, and once we start talking about it out loud, you feel this pressure, just this weight just release from your body, because now you feel like you finally had a moment to just talk about it, and you don't feel great, but you feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as humans, we have to, in any situation, you have to vent. Like, if you hold things in, so you're just gonna like hurt yourself on the inside. Like, talking is and even like for yourself, for a relationship, communication is the key. It's guys, communication is the thing that like binds all of us together as humans. Like it's the most important aspect, in my opinion, that we all have in common is that we are able to communicate with each other. If we're not able to communicate emotionally, then we're like holding that in and not, you know, we're not doing what we like. Things that will actually make us feel good is that interaction. I think that really helps.
Chum Chum Jim says in Discord, in the Hyper RPG Discord, there's a hugs channel. If you
I am
see
in there often.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody for talking about this, and to Danny for being incredibly open and honest about this.
Yeah, I always, you know,
words help so many people.
Well, I kind of just feel like the alternative is worse. You know, I can either be open about, you know, my attempt, or I can hide it forever, or, you know, not get help. And so the fact that being open about it is my alternative, is sharing it. And you guys can always write me. I am in hugs, our Discord a lot. I need hugs and I give them often. So
yeah, and I think one of the things that you and I talked about too before we went live was like technology has really changed how we socially interact with each other. You know, we're our heads are always down. We're
For
in
better
our phones,
and for worse.
For better and for worse. And I think, you know, I mean, I noticed it between my brother and I. My brother and I are 12 years apart. 10 years ago, I didn't have an iPhone. Like that phone just had come out, and I was already I was a year out of high school. My brother is in high school, and I see the difference between my lifestyle being a high schooler and his.
Oh my God.
He spends 90% of his time, when he's not playing hockey, he's playing video games or he's watching TV. I spend 10% of my time at home. I was always out with my friends. Like we were going like to Disneyland and just working and doing a bunch of stuff. It's so crazy to see just in 10 years how technology has affected people's interaction. And we talked about too, like social media, Instagram and all these things. We look at someone's life on Instagram and we assume that that's their life every day, that they have this perfectly lit, like we always assume that social media is the perfect representation of somebody's life, and it's really not.
No way.
Because we have no idea what that person is going through on the other side of the brightness that they always show. So
True.
Don't feel down on yourself because you don't have things that other people have, because you don't know the things that they don't have.
It's so true.
It's so true, man.
Yeah, I feel like that's another reason why I try to share as openly. I also, a lot of you guys know, have autoimmune issues, and I feel like, and Zach shares about his as well, but I really want people to know that my life isn't just like bright and colorful on a screen, that I, you know, have dealt with suicide, have dealt with autoimmune issues, and so many people in the community also deal with that as well. So,
Yeah.
Hey, I love you guys.
I love you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love you guys. You guys are great.
It's such a
Hey, I love you guys
blessing
too.
to be
We
able
love you
to
too,
talk
Cookie.
like this.
And Lucas has pneumonia, so
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
so
kidding.
ill. Look at him. He's scared of Transformers.
He's fighting that good fight, y'all.
It's got that cold sweat, man.
Oh, boy.
What you got for us, Lucas?
All right, y'all. Great discussion. I want to thank Coriolis, Lord Schaffer, Negihama, and Jabberwocky for your generous tips.
Thank you,
Y'all
guys.
Hey, thank you.
$25 to submit a trivia question for these guys at the end of the show. Also want to thank Mott Sauce 1 for the follow and Hardliner for the 8-month resubscription.
Woo! Welcome back.
Let's get into topic 2. Hector, let's talk about Animaniacs. Let's talk about Animaniacs. So Animaniacs, I think IndieWire had the scoop that Animaniacs, that's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
Animaniacs is slated for a reboot. Now, we don't know where yet, but Steven Spielberg has signed on and has confirmed that he will be a part of it. So what do you think this might mean? Where do you think it's going to go? Like, what kind of awesome material do they have right now with, like, I mean, they always had like celebrities, and they talked about like the political climate. So I can't even imagine the material that they have right now.
It's gonna be rad.
Let's talk about. You got 7 minutes.
I mean, if they made fun of Bill Clinton for playing the sax, good. Yeah. So we don't.
Yeah, that was in the opening.
The opening, yeah, man.
line,
So we don't
opening
know.
line, yeah.
We don't know like where it's gonna go or when it's coming out or how far along it is. But I think it was like rumored and kind of confirmed that Animaniacs is in talks, and they're trying to figure out how to do a reboot or bring it back. I would imagine that the same voice actors would be involved because there's been a little bit of a Animaniacs resurgence lately. Number one, they're on Netflix. And people are probably that's probably so high viewed on Netflix that Netflix is even considering doing like a new season and throwing it on there. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's where it landed.
Bless Netflix.
And number two, bless Netflix. Let us bless Netflix. And number two, the cast, Rob Paulson, Tress McNally, and Jess Harnell have been doing a tour of Animaniacs Live, which has been crushing it, and as well as the voice of Brain. Remind me the actor's name. It's
Maurice
Rob
LaMarche.
Paulson and Maurice LaMarche. Thank you. Had been doing a little Pinky and the Brain / Animaniacs Live, and they sell out every time they announce a sort of a new show. So there's this new resurgence. Then the thing too that I think is really exciting is that Steven Spielberg and Amblin, his Amblin company, Amblin Television, had to be involved. They are involved, and that's the great news because Warner Brothers co-owns the Animaniacs with Amblin. I got a chance to interview Rob Paulson a few months ago, and it was one of the greatest days of my life, and he was so nice. But Rob Paulson, I straight up asked him, I was like, since I was a kid, wanted an Animaniacs live action / animated hybrid movie like Roger Rabbit. These are characters that are supposed to be they're supposed to be live action cartoons that live in the water tower on one. I drive by Warner Brothers studio every single day, and everybody our age is like, that's where the Animaniacs live. They have it's already like Roger Rabbit. It's a human world but with cartoon characters walking around, and they have jobs where they star in cartoons. It's basically Roger Rabbit. And I straight up asked him, I'm like, has there been any discussions? And he said, it's way above my pay grade. You'd have to ask Mr. Spielberg. But then he said, he goes, I think that the reason that it hasn't yet happened is because it's co-owned with Amblin. And as soon as he said that, I went, it's the same reason. I'm thinking in my head, it's the same reason we haven't gotten a new Hulk movie, because Marvel Studios doesn't want to share the movie rights with Universal. They co-own that for like a singular movie, which is why we see Hulk in Avengers movies and now Thor, because that's the little, the loop-de-loop. So that's what's exciting is that Amblin's involved, Steven Spielberg's involved, and they could potentially get the cast. So question to you guys, are you excited about this show coming back? Do you think that the time has passed and it should be left alone? How do you feel about it? Are you a fan? Do you care?
There are two shows that I used to watch every morning. Recess and Animaniacs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bring that shit back. I love that show. It's great.
And I gotta say, I loved Animaniacs as a kid, but like I rewatched when they put it on
Oh,
Netflix.
it's
and,
brilliant.
Oh my god, it's even more funny as an adult.
It's like
Oh,
sketch
absolutely.
comedy.
It's
It
pure
is.
sketch,
Yeah.
and it makes fun of so many. Like,
No,
it takes the
fingerprints,
industry-
and he's holding prints. I don't think we can get away with that.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
And just, I just think that as an adult, like I wonder, I've been meaning to actually ask my parents who like would watch it with me, like what they thought about it, because watching it now when I'm older,
Yeah.
it's so much more funny. It was
I'm
funny
gonna
as a
tell
kid, but
you-
now it's like-
My dad used to watch that and
Yeah.
Freakazoid with me.
My mom
Yeah.
used to love it when
Yeah.
they.
Oh, yeah.
When this
Oh,
is
yeah.
remember this was the '90s, so he was still considered a hunk and not a belligerent anti-Semite. But Mel Gibson would be featured on the show as a guy that Dot had a crush on, and every
Yeah.
time Mel Gibson showed up, this was in the '90s. My mom was like, "Oh, my Mel!" Like she loved watching that.
I had this conversation with
Yeah.
Evie that Mel Gibson is every mom's
Mom's crush.
My mom.
At
oh
one
my
point, my
God.
mom had to like sever ties with Mel. She had to tell me once. She had to like call me and tell me like, I don't think I can like him anymore. I'm
What
like, I
women
get it.
want
I get
and
it.
my mom,
Come on.
like those
God.
two.
Yeah.
My mom loved
Yeah.
the movie too, and my mom was big in George Clooney too back then.
Yes,
Yeah,
George
man.
Clooney
Good
and Mel
old
Gibson
George.
were for the moms.
Yeah.
I
know
want
my
to
mom,
say.
who my mom had a crush on.
I want to say that we are so powerful as '90s kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We, like have brought everything
Yeah.
back. Some things don't need to be.
Correct.
Worse.
But they just are cashing in on us now that we have paychecks to some extent.
Where's that Goofy movie
Most
3,
of us-
y'all?
Most of us still have, or Goofy. I don't even count the second one.
We have to count it because
Or
it
it
introduces
was a
Sylvia.
Gamma. Gamma
because
stone.
Goofy
I don't
moves
have to
on and
count
starts
Dragon Ball
dating.
Evolution.
Okay,
I'm not going to
so-
count Goofy Movie 2.
So originally, there was a point at which I would say I'm worried about this, because we have had some reboots of childhood favorites that haven't gone as well.
True.
But then,
Although, sorry, I don't want to
Samurai Jack, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like I would have said like, oh, it's a little past, it's a little too late. But oh my God, what an incredible show!
Totally.
So I feel, and honestly, if they keep the structure and if they have the same cast, I see no reason
And who's
why
writing
it
for
wouldn't
it?
be
Like, I
so
want-
perfect. Exactly.
Like, that's the big
I
one.
would
Who's writing for
imagine
that?
that a lot of people that were originally involved in
Yep.
the show would come back. I would imagine because a lot of them still work in animation. They're still writers. They've gone on to do their own stuff. But I also would not be surprised if But it's really, really tough because we might be too close to it. But as soon as this stuff was announced, so many people I know were tweeting, "I would kill to write on that show.
I was about to say,
I
like,
want to work
think about,
on that show."
Think about having a bunch of fresh new writers, like people that we know who are sharp
Grew up
and
on it,
political
yeah.
and incisive and grew up knowing the tone. They'd be able to kill it with like a new writers room.
Yeah, man.
So I would be cool with like new writers, you know, as long as they
Iffy and I are
knew
already
it.
submitting our
You
packets.
should.
Right?
You should be.
Please, God, yeah.
You should.
I did want to say, because I think I was reading the same article as you guys, that it did say Fuller House is like one of their most successful things. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys, I
Oh.
watched the first-ish season.
So bad. That show is the worst.
I guess maybe you're not the
I'm not. Of course not.
audience. I feel like a lot of my girlfriends that I grew up with that now have babies and things, maybe they really
more
like
relatable to
Fuller
them,
House
yeah.
because
Watch
I
it
feel
with
like
their
that's
kids
the
and- yeah.
yes.
Sure.
can
So
see that.
anyways, so that was in the article. It was talking about how Fuller House, which was obviously from the '90s show, was really popular on Netflix.
Yeah.
Even though most of us didn't watch it.
What kind of?
Oh, I
People-
watched the hell out of
people
Fuller
say-
Full
Oh,
House.
did you?
The original, not the
Oh,
new
of
one.
course.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying Fuller House then.
Oh, yeah.
What if Key and Peele and their writing team would be great.
They're
for
too
it.
big, but also,
No, I
but
mean,
like
their
that writing team for
because
sure.
like you
for
know,
sure.
it's not like they write all of their
Yeah,
shit
that would be
themselves,
great. Yeah.
but like their writing team would
be
be
awesome.
incredible on it. Just like
Yeah.
I think that's the cool thing about our generation, that we've grown up on all these things that were so popular at the time, and even things that maybe weren't as popular, but people remember them very, very vividly. And then we have the ability to bring them back, and now people from our generation can now work on those things.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's
kind of like how
awesome.
Star Wars fans are making Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, which I think
Good
is cool.
Burger.
Yeah.
That's a
Good
person
Burger.
after my own
I love that
I
movie.
dressed up as Ed from Good Burger
Dude,
in
as
fourth
you-
grade for
as you should.
Halloween.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
My mom made me the costume and stuff.
When they showed up on SNL,
Welcome to Good Burger.
Yeah.
Home of the
Good
Good
Burger.
Burger.
Can I
Country.
take it
One
all?
of
Yeah,
my-
that's right,
that was
huh?
a big moment.
One
Yeah.
of I remember because I'm always pitching Good Burger too, and one of my followers said, "What if Key and Peele were at the rival?" I was like, "Oh no, Keenan and Kel and Key and Peele." Like,
I would. I'm sorry, but I would
Oh my
root for
God.
Key and Peele. Sorry, Keenan and Kel.
fine,
Bye.
but like, or just having something like that. I thought it would be
Yeah.
I thought it would be Kel and Keenan and Kel, and then
Yeah.
maybe their sons are taking it over or something like that. But
Yeah.
taking over the
That'd be
family
awesome.
business.
There is a little part of me that's a little sad because I have had again in my brain this idea of this movie for Animaniacs since I was 12, and to me, movies are the most legitimate. They're the most, unfortunately, parents can see that there's a cartoon show, but if a movie were to come out and us 90s kids were to go and take our kids and go see this film, that it could have rejuvenated the Warner Brothers animation and those characters. You could have gotten a spin-off Tiny Toons film that has the
Oh,
same
be
premise
rad.
because Animaniacs came from Tiny Toons. You could have had a spin-off Looney Tunes movie that's not Space Jam 2, that's not Looney Tunes Back in Action, that's not like a Speedy Gonzalez movie, CG, that's not Pepe Le Pew, but like these straight hand-drawn characters. And I think that Animaniacs would have been a great entry point for that.
Yeah.
But I also would have loved like a CG, but still kind of look like the characters Pinky and the Brain mice, because they're supposed to be real mice, and the Warner Brothers and sister are supposed to be drawn cartoons. So Pinky and the Brain to me are real mice. I would have loved it if there was like a CG movie, it like the Smurfs, like some kind of crappy hybrid CG live action thing, but good and based around Pinky and the Brain, but with voiced by Rob Paulson and Maurice LaMarche. But here's the
That'd be
thing:
awesome.
Rob Paulson said, he goes, realistically though, and this is all his speculation, if they did do that, they would get Russell Brand to voice Pinky, and they would get Game of Thrones actor who plays Tyrion. Why am I blanking on his name?
Oh my gosh.
Now that we're all thinking about it, I know, right? Peter Dinklage?
Dinklage to voice
Oh my gosh.
the Brain instead of Maurice LaMarche. And Rob
Oh.
Paulson said if they were to do that, we would be so bummed because we're the original voice actor. So what I'm saying is the silver lining is if this is a TV show, which means it might not have the big of a budget, which means it couldn't, hopefully you go get the original voice actors. They're still here. If this
Yeah.
means that these men and women can reprise their roles over like a big timey movie, which would just get celebrity voices, then let's go cartoon show. I care about that more obviously than
Absolutely.
casting a live action Ralph the Guard or Dr. Scratch and Sniff. I don't know.
So I don't know who. Let us know who. What?
Hardliner.
Hardliner.
Hardliner
Yay.
tipped $100 to support the show. We're gonna watch
Thank
this
you.
video, and if you know it, sing along. Thank you, Hardliner.
Shoot, I don't remember this one. I remember
Is this
a
cute,
lot of the other ones.
Like the state capitals.
Right? Is that the one?
United States,
Ready?
Canada, Mexico,
Yeah.
Panama.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
I just need to hear it and then I'll remember it. These were great little like. Used to take old songs that were in the public domain and do music videos.
What would be the name?
Darling! Absolutely adorable!
Just precious.
She's so cute!
She's pretty cute.
I get this all the time. Well, bye-bye.
Isn't she cute?
I'm cute. Yes, it's true. I really can't help it, but what can I do when you're cute? It just shows. With these two darling eyes and this cute little nose and a
Where'd that
pretty
third hand come
dress
from?
that's adorable, yes. And when they see my dimples, then everyone says,
Oh, shoot!
Erica.
Cute. Oh, baby, she's cute.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Erica,
Metrics
I
is
love,
okay.
I love this documentary of your life.
Thanks, man. To be constantly cute and enchanting to boot. When my lips sticking out in that cute little pout, then they're just about out why the guys like to shout.
Cute.
Let's face it, I'm cute.
Last time I saw Animaniacs, I think was their direct-to-video movie Wacko's Wish, which I love so
love
much.
that movie so much,
good.
dude.
Which one?
If you look up
Wacko's Wish.
Wacko's Wish? Oh my
picture
god.
inside, TV guide has
Remember
me
those
on
guys?
the cover.
Don't you just love her?
I'm
TV
simply
guys?
a goddess, and
Isn't she
Kenny
modest?
I'm the
today.
answer to one of the questions in Trivial Pursuit. For who's the most cute?
Cute.
I'm cute and I'm sweet and I'm innocent, neat and so trusting.
There's a little Buster Bunny.
Oh yeah, look at
Want our opinion? This song is becoming disgusting.
that. Yeah.
I'm cute.
So what?
I never am
She's
vain,
becoming a pain in the
but I'm also real nice.
Well done.
I'm a
Do you
dog
guys
through and
remember the Warner Brothers store?
Oh, it was so cool. They had a
That was
spaceship.
so they had a spaceship in there and stuff.
Yeah, we all had
I
jackets from
I
that store.
had like a sweatshirt with dot on it. It said, I'm the cute one. So when I was little.
I'm the cute one.
I had a Marvin the Martian.
I love the little like paint station that they had. You would like tap.
Yeah, it was so
Oh
cool.
my god, it's there for hours. And then they would always play the trailers for all the new superhero movies. Like Batman and Robin look so good. And then I regretted
You
obviously.
really think so?
She's cute.
Yay!
Sorry, I don't remember that one.
Glard brought up the one that I was telling you about earlier, Mindy, who says, "Okay, lady, I love you, bye."
Okay, I love you, bye-bye.
And so my brothers and I had two brothers,
Why?
like Dot, and we would
Why?
copy that Mindy character. Yes. And we
Why?
used to call my mom, to this day, we call my mom lady.
Yep.
And in text, I'll see
Okay,
like, okay, lady.
Yeah. That's so funny.
You know, one of my favorite panels I went to at WonderCon was Animaniacs. Like it was like they had the whole
Reunion?
cast reunion
Yeah.
panel. That was so great, and they talked about the creation of each song, and like they just made up one on the spot. Like some of the
Dude.
greatest like wordplay and improvisation I've seen is like
Yes.
from those guys. They are so quick and witty, and like they just know how to reference in like a really
Yeah.
clever way. Like,
But I gotta point out that the Nations of the World song was written by one of the writers of the show, who was helping their kid with a school project to learn the nations, and like just started to do it. And when Rob Paulson got the script, he told his wife, he's like, "Come here, look at this." And they were both like, "This is gonna change television." Like they were both like, "This is the most amazing thing ever." Listen to my episode of the Nickelodeon Animation Podcast if you guys can find it with Rob Paulson, because he goes into it, and just hearing the origin story of that one song was like, so
Oh,
cool,
mm,
so
so
cool.
good.
It's the best. This show's the best.
Yeah, it's
That's
the
so
State
good.
Capitals song too. Like
Yep.
a lot of classes learn
man,
that.
I used to
now.
know that. I used to like.
Yeah, I know.
You just forget information when you grow up, guys. It's like United States, Canada, Mexico.
And Black
Panama,
said the
Jamaica,
voice of
Peru.
Mindy is Nancy Bart Simpson Cartwright.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's nice.
Why? Because you have to. Why? Because you just have to, kid. Okay, I love you. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Okay, lady.
Okay, lady.
And the good feathers.
Oh,
Good feather boys.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
like
Oh, man, what a
Animaniacs
great
also
show.
like had some really tender moments too, like
Yeah.
that, like some that would pull at your heartstrings. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, what was the cat and the dog's names?
Rita and
There's one where they
Mutt.
I think they're like trying to find a home, and it's like really sad and
good dog, Rita. Definitely good dog.
yeah. Oh, and it's just like my feelings, like it's so good.
All right, guys, let's hop into the next topic.
Okay.
He's
you
like,
ready?
stop crying and stop being nostalgic. Get out of here.
Rita and Runt. Rita and
I'm
Runt.
dying.
I think
Rita and
it's
Runt,
time.
yes.
Okay, before we hop in, actually, let's thank some people. First of all, thank you, Hardliner, for that $100 tip. Pablo88, thank you for the follow.
Thanks,
Water
Pablo.
Dragon 777775, thank you for the follow. And Shadrick Mould, thanks for the resubscription. Y'all, we are nearly halfway to our goal of $500 for the show tonight.
Great.
Woo, yeah. So the deal is, if you tip $25 with
Randy
a trivia
Beeman
question in your tip message, then we will do that trivia question at the end of the show. We will quiz the whole cast here. And so you could submit a TV or movie trivia question for $25, and hopefully we can get to 500. All that money going directly to support the channel. But last topic here. Let's talk about American Gods. Are you liking it? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? I'll start. Personally, I've watched every episode. I have not read the books. I'm liking it, but it is super weird. I'm having trouble telling if it's one of these things that's like, I'm so weird that I'm smart, or like I'm so smart and it's weird, and I don't know yet. I don't know where it's going. I don't know. There are a lot of these shots that I'm like, this is a good shot, but it doesn't really provide anything to the story. Like a close-up of like a shopping cart wheel. I'm like, okay, that must have some significance. Nope. So I'm having trouble telling if it's like a really smart show and really good, or if it's really bad. And I love it so far, but I don't know if it's going anywhere, and I'm concerned. But let's also talk about books being adapted into TV. And
cool.
that, Game of Thrones is another example, and we're going to watch that trailer tonight. So
Dope.
let's get into it. 7 minutes on the clock. Go.
Lucas, hang in there, buddy. If you feel dumb watching
Yeah,
the
man.
show,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
because you're
Don't push
dumb,
it.
Lucas.
Don't push it. Oh,
It's just because
God.
you're a
Like
dumb
soup or
guy.
something? We can,
Just kidding.
Bring you some crackers.
It's really
and
dense.
soup
I
or
will
something.
say, Erica, you read the book,
Yes. So
It's going
I am
somewhere.
the biggest
but not this season.
Neil Gaiman dork. Like I am such a super fan. I love American Gods. It's because I grew up with ancient mythology, and in here in America, like us, non-Native Americans, like kind of lost religion and that sort of colorfulness. And I love the idea of gods walking amongst us and only being as powerful as our belief in them. So it really captured my imagination, and it was such a very American but very Neil Gaiman novel. I loved it, and the adaptation, I'm loving it because it actually imbues the characters with a lot more personality than they have in the books.
Yeah.
And it reads very well in the books with them being a little bit of a blank slate, but they give them so much more context and life in the show, and the characters are so great, and the way that they update it, because the book's like, what, 15 years
it came
old?
out in like 2001
and so
or
one
something.
Some of the characters are like media and technology, and so the way that they update it and make everything super relevant is so interesting. I love it. And the shots, I don't know, I could be reading into this a lot, but they say God is in the details. And just the macro shots and a lot of things they do put in there that will show up later, like a lot of the disconnected stories. And I love how it's a story of America and Americans, but told through the lens of mythology and stories. It's just such a good adaptation, and it's so beautiful. So I'm loving this. I'm sorry, everybody, that I'm
don't. It's infectious.
So if you haven't read it or watched it, I would highly recommend it. Honestly, if you want to just jump into the show, I think maybe that would be fine. The storytelling is very good, and the casting is phenomenal. I feel like this is this golden era of media, books and comics being adapted into very good TV, especially TV. We had Preacher was really good. I only read a tiny bit of Preacher, but I love the show, and Game of Thrones. the first couple of seasons were phenomenal. I know Handmaid's Tale, everybody is raving about right now.
It's good.
And I feel like TV, and especially prestige television now with the budgets that they're getting, allows for a lot of fleshing out of characters and exploration of storylines that you wouldn't necessarily get in movies.
I think the tricky thing is, especially because American Gods is technically 2 books, but it's just 1 book. Game of Thrones is a book series, which like indicates multiple seasons. The tricky thing is like breathing life into those characters and really fleshing it out versus taking too long to get to the story, you know what I mean? And finding that pacing of like, well, are we spinning our wheels or are we putting the cart before the horse? Because has this been greenlit for season 2, season 3, like how many seasons is it supposed to be before it gets to the end of the book, the end of the story that they're building up towards?
American Gods, it's a 1-season special.
It's a miniseries,
yeah,
right?
it's a miniseries.
Well, I don't think that the show is going to end where from the episode I saw, the pacing, I don't think that the show's going to end where the book's going to end. I feel like it's supposed to be like a 2 or 3 season deal. And then maybe if it all goes well, give Orlando Jones Anansi Boys as another show or something like that, which is exciting. But
92 says it's greenlit for season 2.
Greenlit for at least. So that's the risk you run. But then also you can't, you don't want to force these storytellers to do an entire book in 1 season just because there's only 1 book. It's like, especially if you have to take your time. So I've only seen the pilot and I thought it was really, really great. That Bill Quasino.
Oh, that's another thing though, is that like
freak
when
people out.
You read that scene, you're like, how would they ever possibly adapt this into a visual? Like,
it's great.
And they did it, and it's so good.
Spoiler alert, a guy disappears into a vagina and it's awesome. High five,
so
right
good.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're
good.
having sex and he just disappears. It's
Right.
Oh
great.
yeah, the documentary of my life.
Yeah. What?
Well, hers was the dot, so I was like, "What is?"
okay.
I do want to say, mine's like the exact opposite.
Yes, get it, Danny.
No, I do want to say my only contribution to this conversation is that my friend Sarah Benacasa, who is a fantastic writer, somehow got Neil Gaiman to agree to read the Cheesecake Factory menu.
So if they earn like a ridiculous amount of money.
500,000, and it's going to refugees. So you can check out Sarah Benacasa. You can go find her on Twitter. It's her pinned tweet, and he's gonna do it. So they're at like 76,000 raised right now, going to a great cause. And he was like, "Yeah,
amazing.
sure." And it's all these outlets.
The whole menu,
if
the
he's
whole
gonna
Cheesecake
read,
Factory menu.
It's gonna take
It's
him
a
a
very
while.
extensive menu, and
It's a
also
long, yeah.
Neil Gaiman has this voice. It's this like
That's so funny.
rich, beautiful voice that you could just get lost
Who would
in.
think of this?
And
Is he going to read the
amazing.
advertisements for Build-A-Bear in it too?
I hope so.
Oh,
Real
absolutely. The whole
question.
thing, cover to cover.
Yeah.
It is a very long menu.
Danny, American Goddess. Yes.
Yes,
Love
so
it.
that
Absolutely.
so that I think is hilarious, and also going to a good cause, and he's such a good sport to agree to do it. So
I mean, he's such
Yeah.
he's a good person.
yeah,
He's
great. And
such
it's
a good
2
person,
authors,
though.
2 writers, because she's also a very accomplished author as well. So yeah,
Very cool. Yeah, so if you guys haven't checked out the show, I'd recommend the pilot. I like to give TV shows an entire season before I make up my mind, and I think the show's going to be ending in like a couple weeks. Like it's like a 10-episode or 8-episode run or something. That's not like a full thing.
I think
So
it's supposed
Yeah.
to be 10
I-
episodes.
for how
Perfect.
long
10
episodes?
Perfect.
Can
Yeah,
I
it's not
ask-
that much.
I hate
Yeah.
shows that are too long.
Yep.
can I ask
Thank
you,
you, CW. Learn a lesson.
Erica? Is it like spicy? It look, you know what I mean? It looks spicy.
Spicy,
Like Game of
Oh.
Thrones is
I mean,
spicy.
like-
you know,
Yeah, dude.
like
there's some
True
sex.
Blood was spicy.
Yes, there's some
Which
sex
I
you're not gonna
enjoy,
see
but
coming.
I
not
want-
the spiciest. Like,
Okay, so
the
there's
Bill Cosby stuff
marketing
is
that
like,
way because I felt like it was kind of marketed as like very
Yeah.
sexual.
I mean, there's-
OMG. Yeah. There's
It's
there's
not
sex
like
A
to
lot
it.
of dick, okay.
spiciest. That's the thing. Is that like there? Oh my god! Like there's this one.
like actual dick,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, like
so
real
like
dick.
Boogie Nights.
there is
talking.
That's a fake
there
dick.
is a gay sex scene.
Okay.
With
that
a
is
genie.
Yeah, with 2 Middle Eastern men, and it is like fire, literally like fire. Oh my god! And that is something that
Hello.
you don't see on TV, really.
Hello.
Yeah, you see hashtag actual dick. Like
You see hashtag a whole new world, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
You ain't never had a friend like me, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Wait,
Step ahead of the bread
this
line.
on
it's Stars, right?
It's
I think
on
it's
Stars.
It's on Disney Channel. No,
It's on Disney.
Yeah, yeah.
Channel. Oh wow, opening the bells.
no.
Disney XD.
Yeah, and Stars, you can tell that they decided to go equal opportunity.
Well, I mean,
with
is that?
nudity.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Sure.
I'm fascinated. No, is this? Was that in the books?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And there's a
Because
lot
sometimes
of stuff
I wonder how much sex is added when it
For sure.
is
Oh
my God.
adapted.
Okay,
Because
so
we're
there's-
talking
so
about
there's-
books being
It's already an
adapted
HBO
too.
book. The source material already is something
Yes.
that Neil Gaiman does not shy away from the sex and murder that littered the mythology that he's drawing from.
It's so funny
You
because
know,
Neil
these
Gaiman is
characters
so
are
like
fucked up.
British.
It's
He
a-
says it in such a, like a matter-of-fact way.
Yeah.
You know,
I've never seen this show before, or I've only heard my sister tell me a little bit about it, but it sounds interesting. Is it about like how you said it's about the belief in a god,
the
and the
idea
old gods
is
are like
that
dying,
the old gods,
and like the new
are-
gods are like media and television
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff. I just
yeah.
think that's
And
such
the
a
old gods are
fascinating,
stuck in the United States
concept.
because when immigrants have been coming here over the past few centuries, they come and they bring their beliefs. So then, like
They
a
bring their
character
gods with
like
them.
Odin is stuck here in the United States and doesn't go back to Norway or to wherever the
Right.
Yeah.
god sort of originated
So
from.
this is the
Wow.
American
Yeah.
Odin.
That's
and
super cool.
But
It's
it
so
also
interesting, and
it's
the
tied
idea
into
is-
American history as well, and also slavery, and also all of the ugliness that entails. Because America, you can't just to say what is America. That question Neil Gaiman tried to answer when he wrote this book. And America is its people, its history, its culture, its fucked up culture, its hope, its perseverance,
immigrants.
its immigrants, it's everything. So it's not always a pleasant experience to watch or read this story
1 minute.
because it's like it's messed up. It's messed up, but it is. That's what America is. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's the idea that there's these old gods, but that we worship new gods now. We really do.
oh man.
Yeah. It's fascinating and just the
That's
acting is so
awesome.
good in it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I remember we watched the trailers and it looks really
also
well
gorgeous,
shot.
yeah.
Like very
It's
well produced.
beautiful.
It's
So I definitely want to sit and like, it's what 6 episodes in, 5
Something like that,
episodes?
yeah.
So now that it's that far, I might as well just sit and just like watch one a week, and I'll be caught up by the time it ends.
Fun story. Somebody somebody their name was something Wrights. But there's a scene. There was going to be a scene where like somebody offers the main character like a blowjob in a graveyard, and
Whoa.
it's like a bad thing. And the writers were like, yeah, we'll throw that in there and stuff. And Neil Gaiman said, if he accepts that blowjob, I will jump in front of a bus, and then you'll have to explain to everybody why Neil Gaiman jumped in front of a bus.
Wow.
Stick to
So
it, Neil.
that's-
Stick to it.
yeah.
Good. That Shadow Moon wouldn't accept that, BJ. He
Right?
would not.
Yeah.
Shadow Moon's too nice of
I
a
know,
guy.
right?
He's a little puppy.
I know.
He's a little
Little
puppy.
puppy.
Little puppy. He doesn't want a beach.
Puppy.
He wants his Laura back.
Yeah,
He's a little
it's
baby
great.
puppy.
Check it out. And also, yeah, golden age of adaptations of books into TV shows.
But then every once in a while you get an Iron Fist and you're like, what happened? What happened? Comic book adaptation.
Whoa.
Are you guys watching any other shows?
I am watching
I am.
Better Call Saul, and I told you, I'm like, do I get to
Yeah.
talk about Better Call
Yeah.
Saul?
How's Better Call Saul?
Oh God, you know, it is just a tad slow, but I love slower things. Like I'm the one person not the one person, but I was like, Luke Cage is the best thing ever, and I was rewatching it again this week. Still the best thing ever. I don't know how people don't think it's the best thing ever, but I
Cage is
enjoy slow because I want to like sit with those characters and be with them and really feel what life is like for them. I don't necessarily always agree with binge watching things because I feel like it's not the way that all television is meant to be seen.
Agreed.
And so Better Call Saul is a little bit slower. It is a lot more comedic. Breaking Bad was already comedic, but you know,
Yeah.
Better Call Saul is it's great, and I love it. And the season finale is next week.
Ooh. How many seasons? 2, 3?
They're on 2. I think this is 2.
End of 2?
I think this is the end of 2, so you can catch up because I believe it's on Netflix.
I'm just a real piece of work. I got to finish Breaking Bad, y'all. Haven't finished it
You
yet.
can do it.
I
so
still need to.
good.
Oh, no.
A couple
And
people
then I'll
brought
do
up
that.
Sherlock in the chat too.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt season 3. I've been
Cool.
watching that lately, and I'm really.
I missed season 2.
You didn't watch season 2?
No, not yet.
I gotta watch.
Oh,
I gotta watch season 2
great.
as well.
Yeah, I just really like that show. It's actually
Great.
it does a
It's
really
so
good
funny.
job of like female empowerment and stuff like that. And I'm
Females are
like,
strong as hell.
Yeah, she's strong as hell, dude. Strong as hell, and it
Master
brings
of
up a
none.
lot of.
Oh
Like,
wait, I think a bunch of people are saying season 3.
Okay,
Is that
it's the
what
end
you're
of season
Yeah,
talking
the
about?
season
three.
3 is out too.
Yeah, season
but I
3.
missed season 2.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Oh, you're right. God, it has
For
been on
Sherlock,
for a while.
I love Sherlock, but I think the last season lost a lot of the things that I really loved about it being like really grounded and character based.
It was it was cool. And then as soon as he started opening portals with a little ring on his finger, I was like, what am I watching? This is not great. This is not great.
Sherlock?
Yeah, dude, it's weird.
Interesting.
It was weird. As soon as he started
He's
doing
playing Doctor Strange and Sherlock
that.
now.
Huh?
think-
Oh, that must have been it. I must have watched Doctor Strange on Netflix. Sorry, my
Which
bad.
is now on Netflix as well.
Yeah,
is anyone
I got
watching the new
confused.
Doctor Who?
No.
You don't watch
I still
Doctor
need
Who?
to watch Doctor
Any
Who.
Whovians out there?
No,
I
I
couldn't
still
get
need
into
to watch.
that
I haven't
show.
watched any Doctor Who, and I wanted to make it like a big thing when I
Yeah,
finally watched Doctor
I'm
Who.
gonna
Oh,
start
man.
from the 1949 season and then I'll catch up.
I'm doing that right now. It's just very.
Foolish.
It's long and
Yeah.
doesn't need to be like a 5-episode story, but there's some really great
Cool.
storytelling. There's some
I
great
hear you.
messages and stuff in those old
I'm an
Doctor
old
Who
school
episodes.
Star Trek fan. I'm right there with you.
Hector,
Yeah,
how
man.
are those CW shows?
So some of them are real good. I really like
And
the
the bar.
Flash finale. I know people were shitting on it, but I like those characters.
No,
and I thought
somebody
did
said that
something
they
cool.
really liked it.
I
in the
really
chat.
liked the Flash finale, and I liked a lot of this season.
It's been a little bit of a
some
controversial
characters.
Flash
Yeah, man.
season.
Arrow was a good season, better season, but I still
Yeah.
don't love that show. But like, I like a lot of those characters.
You know why Arrow's better this season? Because Big Belly Burger's back in it.
Big Belly's Burgers.
They didn't
back
go in
it.
the last 2
'Cause you
seasons,
got
bro.
Curtis Holt, aka Mr. Terrific. I love him, and the dude who plays Wild Dog. I forgot the actor's name.
Oh,
He's
yeah, the
really
actor's
good too.
great.
That like Cuban guy or Puerto Rican guy, Mexican guy.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah,
Mad
he's
Dog.
awesome. Mad Dog.
Good old
yeah.
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog. He's
How's
really great,
Supergirl?
so. Supergirl's fun. It's really good.
A lot
it's
of people.
really good. It's-
Supergirl seems to be the show that everyone gravitates towards being their favorite.
Yeah.
I feel like with Flash, people have said it's just kind of been on repeat for the last couple seasons. It's the same plot with just different types
Flash
of characters.
is definitely the show where it's like that should be binged. That should be
Right.
a show where it's like I got an afternoon. I'm gonna power through 8 of these episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like and because it feels like more things will happen in a shorter amount. Like that's one. That
I think,
just, it can be drawn
Flash,
out.
especially this season, like the whole premonition thing, I feel like that went on so long, and it's like, oh, they're so
Yeah.
moody for I feel like every CW, have you noticed that? Every
Yeah.
season, every year, it feels like my liking of each of the DC DCW shows, it's like the newer one's the one I really liked. It's like fresh. Like, you know, I don't know. That's what, but also, I think Legends was really fun this
Legends
season.
of Tomorrow
That
had an
show
episode where they met
embraces
George
exactly what it
Lucas,
is.
and
Oh,
it was
man.
ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
have to
loved
say,
it.
Yeah.
I saw a clip, that clip that we watched of them in the colonial era.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
a
like,
good time.
this looks interesting.
It's a good
Season
time.
2
If I had more
is
time, I
so
would
good.
watch this.
What were to happen if time traveling superheroes and one of them is black and one of them is gay woman and one of them and they travel through time? What would
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah.
Hilarity ensues. Watch Legends of Tomorrow.
And they're just like, what I love about that crew is that they're always like they're just my lovable idiots, you
Yeah.
know? Like they're
They're-
so
yeah.
bad with time travel.
Yeah.
I love Brandon Routh. I miss
Oh,
him.
I love him so
He's so
much.
great, and it's so great to see him on that show. He's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Brandon
I'm really
Routh.
excited for Black Lightning.
Oh,
It's
It's
that
not
looked
connected
dope.
to the Arrowverse, but it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Well, it should be because
I
it
know.
looks dope, and they could use.
Well, Fox passed on it, so.
it's
Exploit
on
what?
Fox. I thought it was gonna be on CW.
Well, they passed
Oh,
on it, so
dude.
CW picked it up.
Sorry, I had one more comedy to drop.
Yeah. Yes?
And that is Schitt's Creek. You guys, it was
looks
one of
good.
those things where I saw like stuff. I saw like the billboard. I'm like, there's no way this is good. And then I saw it like when you get the front page on Netflix, which helps a lot of shows. And
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Yeah.
it got the front page on Netflix. I'm like, fine, will you leave me alone? Like, I'll freaking watch your damn show, dude. That show I love it. Eugene Levy won, fantastic.
Yep.
Catherine O'Hara is a
Yep.
goddess.
Oh, yeah.
So
Holy
good.
crap, her act, like, oh my gosh, she plays a woman who is a washed up kind of a washed up older actress, and oh my god, fantastic. Eugene Levy wrote the show with his son
Yep.
Dan, who actually
the
was
show.
the main writer, who's in the show.
Oh,
They
cool.
have gorgeous
It's
eyebrows.
weird. He looks
They
like
have
that.
gorgeous eyebrows. I was like, this man is so beautiful. How does
It's all about those strong
and
brows.
it's just it's like such a fun, lighthearted comedy, and it just makes me so. If you like escapism, that's my. You guys, when I'm going through like a bad period, I'll just I watched both seasons. They're on the 3rd season, but I watched both seasons twice because
Wow.
it just made me forget about everything and just live in this little town that this rich family has to move to.
Yeah.
When
great.
they get their comeuppance, and so
love it.
comeuppance. There we go.
Yeah. It's great.
great.
I think this finale season right now is really great. I don't know. Like I just like they're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got so good.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got so
I'm
good.
not caught up, and I'm like looking forward to it. I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
catch up over the summer before like Defenders comes out, and before the new Spider-Man movie comes out.
Yeah.
But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. introduced Ghost Rider and all this badass stuff that I'm like, I would fucking love that
And,
show.
like,
I'm
the
excited to
evolution
catch
of that
up.
show.
Yeah.
The-
Preacher season.
Oh yeah, Preacher season 2 is coming out in mid-June, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The evolution of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. though, like I know everyone hated the first half of season 1, but I liked it because like I just like seeing how it changed into what has become. Like, I stuck
Yeah.
with it, and I feel so rewarded that I was stuck with it personally. I don't know.
Cool.
I want to watch Riverdale.
Oh, Riverdale's
too.
so fun.
I really want
I
to
don't
watch
think
Riverdale.
I'm ready to like get
I don't-
I mean,
committed.
Oh, it's
I
so
know, that's
just-
the thing.
ugh.
That's the thing is that like
Is
I
it
have no
guilty?
time.
Is
It's
it a
so
guilty
guilty.
pleasure?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, it's
that's
like
what I
it's
thought.
the
Oh, I
show
don't feel
that
guilty about things.
I don't feel guilty about it either.
Yeah.
Like it's like all these characters. First off, like Archie's just an idiot. You know, he's a lovable
Classic
idiot.
Archie.
You
Like-
guys do a watch along here, and I'll come.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll
same
come
here.
to
Because
it.
I grew up I read so much Archie comics when I was younger, and the idea of them being older.
Erica, are you Betty or Veronica?
I know.
What?
Are you Betty or Veronica?
Oh, Veronica.
Yeah, that sounds
For
about right.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Betty all the way.
I mean,
The
Betty is
first-
the good girl and stuff. Veronica is so exciting, you know?
Yeah, she's a terrible
dude,
person.
like,
yeah.
She's a terrible.
She's a terrible
high
rich person. Yeah, I hate her.
The portrayal of the characters in the show, the
She
adaptation
knows
is
what
great.
she wants and she goes for it. You know?
but she's
And-
garbage, totally, for sure,
She
for sure.
is.
And it just
Yeah.
it reminds me of this weird, because the show is modern, but it has this nostalgia 50s feel to it, and it's so fascinating and just takes you in. And it's like, who killed Jason? Like, I don't even know.
There
Like, you
seems
know?
to be quite the debate about whether it's trashy or not.
Oh,
Some people
it's
like, no,
it's
it's not a
undoubtedly
guilty
trashy.
pleasure.
Look,
Some
it's-
people like, yes, it is. Like, one of those scandalous magazines that
It's
you read.
pure escapism. It's not. It's so over the top that
Well,
just.
I just love the idea of a sexed up emo teenage Archie group. It's so great.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, a lot of these are on Netflix now,
Yeah.
including the ones
It's that
I
deal
were
that they
talking
have with
about.
Netflix or to CW.
All right.
Anyway-
Were we supposed to stop?
I don't know.
At some point.
I forgot.
Well,
Sure.
Sure. Also, Legion. Legion was great.
Trail-
Legion is good TV.
and Animax
Cut
has
to
been
me.
great. If you guys are watching.
Hello. Guys, I want to take some time to thank some of the stuff that's coming in. By the way, we are only 5 questions away, depending on what you decide to tip, but five minimum. With a $25 tip, we're only 5 questions away from our goal to keep Cineverse alive. So
Yes.
let's go over some of this that's happened. I want to thank Urquag, Megalo Blazemon, Simi David 95, and Big D Tex for your recent tips. Thank you so much for supporting Hyper RPG and keeping this channel alive, keeping our hosts and our crew fed. Kyle Landry Piano has hosted us for 47 viewers.
Ooh,
Yeah, thank you. Wow.
And welcome new viewers. Consider following, but we're sitting here talking TV this week. We typically talk movies, but these are super passionate individuals that work in the industry. They work here with us. But they also, you know what? Why don't you guys go through and introduce yourselves? We don't do this enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. This whole why are we qualified to be up here? My name is
Yeah.
Hector. My name is Hector, and I used to work in visual effects, and now I like to work on different hosty type things, and I like comic books and movies and TV shows.
My name is Ms. Danny Fernandez. I've written on a couple of shows and been at MTV, VH1. Your face. Yes, the trashiest of television.
That's good shit.
No. I am a writer, host, and have a Dragon Ball Super show here on Hyper.
Yeah, I'm Mal Acevedo. I used to work in a post house and a trailer house, and then I host a bunch of content here. I'm just a nerd, man. I just been growing up watching a bunch of TV because it was easy for my abuela to babysit me. So I was like, ooh, television. So yeah,
Thanks, Abuela.
thanks, abuela.
I'm Erica Ishii. I grew up in a film industry family. I've been in the Screen Actors Guild since I was 4 or something. I have a degree in mass media communications, so a lot of emphasis on film and TV analysis. I do hosty things, and I'm a voice actor and on-camera actor.
Adam Lavick, and I host this show here, obviously, and then I'm doing a bunch of stuff for this channel on YouTube. I also worked in visual effects. That's how I met Hector and Augustine, who was our other host who couldn't be here tonight. And now I'm working at Screen Junkies, doing all kinds of cool stuff. But more importantly, I'm here every single week and on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, what's next, Lucas?
These are all pretty cool people. That's it. You're an addict. Ayo Worm. Another one. Thank you for the follows. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Guys, I think it's time for trailers, is it not?
Oh, yeah. I'm down.
Wait, Hector, you want to do me a little favor?
Yeah, what's that?
Wait, are you closer to the microphone? Just turn it up just a smidge. It was a little low on that Animaniacs. Oh, it was right there? I guess I could have done it. Sorry. There, that's good.
All right,
Okay.
let's do it.
Thank you.
Wait, how do I go back to the beginning? Never mind. Just kidding.
Actually, Cookie is also a film person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's seen Hot Rod once. All right, let's get into the trailers. Big fan of that Hot Rod.
You ready, Lucas?
Congressman.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
Sarah
Silverman.
Silverman.
Netflix Studios,
I
Hollywood,
recognize
California.
you. Okay, so we're gonna do this sitting?
Yeah.
Okay. And I would be reading from here.
Yeah, the prompter's actually in the camera, so it will look
Yeah.
like you're looking straight into the.
Isn't that Even Stevens'
Yeah, I-
dad?
Yep.
I forget what the character's name was.
Netflix promo. Hi, I'm Congressman Tom Virtue. As a House Republican, Christian values are important to me. That's why I'd like to encourage you to watch Sarah Silverman, A Speck of Dust on Netflix. This is not the inappropriate Sarah Silverman of recent times, but a wholesome comedy special about family. Sarah's days of blue humor and politics meddling are over. That ship has sailed, as she's had a true come-to-Jesus moment and is writing clean material that the whole family can enjoy. One thing we know about Sarah, she's not a bore, but now she understands we are one nation under God.
Fantastic.
Is that okay?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I could do one with more warmth. if you
No,
want.
we'll fix it all in post.
Very good. Okay, thank you for having me. She's not a bore. Mission. Come, but a
Okay, here we go.
Oh, no.
Come. Politics meddling are over. Hi, I'm Congressman Tom Virtue. I'd like to encourage you to watch Sarah Silverman, A Speck of Dust, a comedy special about family, politics, shitting, cum holes, Jesus, abortion, and God.
It's perfect.
Oh, my God.
I wanted that joke to land harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it. I don't know. It's Netflix comedy specials. They kind of have to like really take a lot to get me to click on them.
What's our voting?
They're there like
All right,
every
go.
single week. It feels like there's a new Netflix comedy.
There's so
That
many.
is
Yeah.
true.
You
What's
know?
our voting system for Netflix stuff? Watch immediately.
It's watch immediately,
Yeah,
watch
eventually.
eventually,
Binge, watch eventually, and skip.
skip.
Mm.
I guess I'll make that a watch eventually. I like Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big stand-up on Netflix person. I know
Yeah, I
people
don't
that watch
usually
every
watch
single thing,
stand-up.
and I'm like, I see one, and I'm good for a couple months.
Yeah,
man.
I tend to like more when these stand-up comics are in shows or they create shows. Like Aziz
Correct.
Ansari has like Master of None and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it's a bit more engaging because there's a story to it too, and there's like more relatability. I mean, I think stand-up is great, but I feel like for me it has to really hit for me to really love it.
I'll wait and hear things about it. I don't know. I go back and forth with Sarah Silverman. I really like some of her stuff and when she's in films, but like I don't know if I care for her stand up all the time. But yeah, so I might skip that unless people say I really need to watch it.
Yeah, if I'm like, if like we're hanging out, like let's watch it, I'll watch it. But
yeah,
I won't.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm not gonna go out
usually.
of my
I don't
way.
just stand-up
rush.
specials in general, unless it's
Yeah.
like I have like a few favorites. You know, like I usually don't go out to watch stand-up, because I don't like laughing by myself in a room. I feel weird. So
That's a weird.
So guys,
Weird
just
reason to
come,
not
just
watch
come.
Self-conscious about laughing by yourself.
Yeah, just come hang out and watch some stand-up with me.
I actually like when we used to work in visual effects. I used to love listening to stand-up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
used to
feel
listen
like
to it.
in
Yeah.
that sort of context, it's easier because you just put it on, you laugh at your desk because in the industry that we worked in, it was so pin drop quiet all the time.
Oh yeah, just headphones on, noise canceling. Like,
yeah. So it's like to have that, you
doesn't
feel better.
require a lot of visual
Yeah.
for these kinds of specials. I know like Hassan Minhaj, Homecoming King, used some visuals for his stage
Oh yeah.
presence, but like it really wasn't essential. The winner was Skip. Danny, where you at?
Oh, I'm the same way just because I'm surrounded by comedy at all
Yeah.
times.
All
the last thing
times.
you want to do is go
and
home.
is being
yeah.
on comedy shows and then watching these people, which I think are fantastic. But I would say the opposite. My boyfriend Mark Ellis, who is on tour and is a regular at the Comedy Store, will go home and watch these
Yeah.
specials.
It's his job.
Which I guess so. Maybe he
Yeah.
sees it that way. I always think it's like you just want to make sure you're not doing a joke that's similar to another person.
Yeah.
But I will say I love Sarah Silverman. So many of these people I know or have met in real life, and a lot of people end up being awful. She is not one of them. She is always fantastic to all of the women that are around her at the comedy store. And I just feel like I need to say that because sometimes powerful women come across as, you know, they call them bitchy or whatever, and they get a reputation, and she definitely doesn't deserve any negativity because she's a fantastic person.
Great.
Although I probably won't watch it. I'll see her live at the store. She's always there.
You're her
at the comedy
friend, you
store.
name dropper.
I'm not
That name you just dropped. Just kidding.
picking it up.
There you go.
Anyways, yeah, she's a fantastic human being.
Great. What's up next? Danny might also have to leave early because she's got a ton of stuff that she has to do. So, Danny, if you ever have to take off, go ahead and take off.
Yeah, are we gonna? I feel like I've talked about Wonder Woman so much that you guys already know how I feel about it. That I could just leave and you guys would.
Yeah,
would
could
know.
But in case people are tuning in just now, you
Yes.
haven't seen it.
Okay.
Tell everybody about your non-spoiler review that's up on
So
HyperRPG.com
my
on YouTube.
non-spoiler review with Malika and Emma Fife is up, and definitely check that out. It has a lot of positive reviews. My review has a lot of positive reviews. And again, just to, you know, kind of calm everyone's fears, if there were any, it's just such a bright, fantastic, beautiful film that I cried during. I've said this before, but when the credits were rolling, I was crying about things that happened in the film, like just thinking about them again. I cry in my car when I'm thinking about it. There were so many people that cried at the premiere and at the screening and at the Q&A, and we are all so excited that this is fantastic. And that not only has a fierce, powerful woman, but one that is also intelligent and yeah, and it doesn't feel like anything else.
Cool.
Oh man, I'm so excited though. I'm so happy to hear it's good. You have no idea how long
I thought you've seen it.
No,
You've seen it
I
with
didn't
us
get
on
invited to any of
Thursday.
the press
Okay.
screenings.
You are enjoy. You know what? I feel like the seeing it with fans is 100 times better than seeing it with press people.
Yeah.
I am really excited to get to see it
because those people are you know, the heart and soul of this community. So
I'm
I
gonna
will
see
be
it with my
going
friend who's,
with
like, a
us.
huge-
We're all going to see it opening night.
Yeah.
I'm super excited that because we know how the DC and Marvel communities have been. They've been very much at each other's throats every single movie, and I hope that with this movie, that these two communities can just set aside their differences.
Nope.
Probably not. But, you know, it would just
boy.
be nice. There have been a lot of people who are Marvel fans who are like, look, I'm a Marvel fan. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but Wonder Woman is really good.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for DC fans that they finally have a movie that they can all universally love together.
Yeah, but like I said, you guys definitely check out the review because I talked about a woman that got up in the Q&A and she was like, I'm not a fan of action films. Milana, Von Trapp. She's like, I'm not a fan of action films, and I also don't follow superhero stuff, which is fine. That's like a huge, you know, we're in the nerd world and we follow it, but there are a bunch of like your classmates and stuff, if you think of that you graduated with, that probably aren't following nerd news all the time in nerd films. But she was like, I don't follow this at all. And then she just started bawling, and she was like, just thank you for making this film. Thank you for making this. And she just couldn't keep her shit together. She was crying so much about this film that spoke to her, and I hope that it speaks to all of you guys. I definitely tweet me. I want to know how you guys feel about it. I want to know what you think the message of the film is as well, and if we got the same message from it.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Mic drop.
Get out of here, Danny.
Thank you so much to Danny Fernandez.
Let me know who gets the print. I
Okay,
wanna know that
okay,
too.
you got it.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Of
You're
course.
so
You're
welcome.
always welcome here.
KB Tibbs said that Danny has to leave to go hang out with Sarah Silverman.
And the truth has been revealed. Okay. Next trailers.
Here we go.
I'm not asking people to be perfect, Sal. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm no exception. But everybody thinks that they can do whatever the hell they want with no repercussions whatsoever. And what is the point of being the only clean person in a town that's completely dirty?
When I'm dirty, my mom gives me a bath.
That's what I'm doing. I'm giving this town a bath.
Don't forget, Sally's got her ballet recital tonight.
Try again tonight.
You're gonna miss your daughter's dance recital.
What would happen? Someone tried to rob this bank tonight.
I shoot you in the face! Destroy it! Smash it! Smash it, Liam! Smash it!
What happened last night. Ed fucked us is what happened.
I gotta figure out a way to get that money so we can get the hell out of here.
I'm not much of a gun guy, Steph.
Become one. Jesus, Steph.
And go get the money.
Once you open that door, there's no going back.
Hey, baby, it's me. When can you get away? Okay, Shimmer, I'll wait for you.
So they robbed the bank, came back, stole the banker.
Oh, God.
No. The Camaro is black and the suspects are white.
This has Fargo vibes.
Yeah.
This is very Fargo or like Heist Gone Wrong, like, you know.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? Oh, no, go ahead.
I'm gonna pass on it. I'm gonna pass.
You guys remember that
Great
trailer for
cast.
that movie, Frances McDormand?
Yes.
I forget the name of that movie. It's a very long movie.
The three billboards outside of something, Texas.
That's where I thought this trailer was going.
Yep.
And then it kept going, and I'm like, nah, that's not where it's going at all.
Yeah.
I'll take Frances McDormand.
It's
a great cast, though. But
if it was, I guess, if it was like, I'm probably gonna pass. But if it was a series, I would watch the pilot and then see from there.
Sure.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
So maybe watch 20 minutes.
Yeah,
of it.
it does. It feels very Coen Brothers-y.
Yeah,
and like I am interested. So I love Coen Brothers films. So I'll see what the reviews are like.
I feel like normally when we watch trailers for Netflix stuff, we're pretty pumped and we're pretty hyped.
Because it's usually very
because we see the best of the best.
It's
yeah.
daring and
exactly.
it's risky and it's
got
like
a
a new
pop.
voice or
It's
something.
really got a pop and it
this
looks
felt
unique.
like it's trying to be Coen Brothers, but it didn't. It wasn't funny enough and it wasn't dramatic enough. It was a bunch of comedic actors essentially in a Coen Brothers movie or a drama, but the drama stakes weren't high enough and the comedy wasn't high enough. The funniest part was when that fucking iron fell on the lady's head.
Yeah, I think Cameron's right. Netflix is really good at cutting together trailers for TV shows because they have more story to work with.
I think I feel like a lot of the Netflix movies I have watched, there are some good ones in there, but there's a lot. And that's one of the things with Netflix. They'll put like a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah,
it's like it's a little oversaturated. Like look at all these like Adam Sandler films and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know about that.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You know.
No thanks.
So I'm always a little like I don't know about like when it comes to Netflix original films personally.
Yeah, I can't think. Beast of No Nation.
Yeah.
Beast of No Nation. I'm trying to think of other.
That's
There's some hits for
the
sure.
best original Netflix movie so far.
Yeah.
Imperial Dreams is really good. Yeah, they whether or not they actually produce them themselves or they acquire them, they're usually for the most part pretty quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The 13th.
Guys, wait. Quick update, if I may. I've announced to the chat room that if we get to our goal tonight, which we are $125 away,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Matt there will have to jump in the pool.
What?
Thanks for agreeing to that.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay.
We're going to politely ask Matt to jump in the pool at any time during the next month.
Sometime during the next month.
It could be a hot day.
You won't necessarily have to have your phone on you.
I think this is payback for like I bought the Taco Bell chicken nachos and I was like, Ryan, you should totally eat this, and he's like trying not to and he totally ate it. So he's like mad at me.
This is it.
All right, whatever. I'll jump in the pool. Whatever.
At some point
And
over
you better
the
have
next
a great time too.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Well, good luck to you, bud.
Thanks, guys.
You're a good dude.
All right, here we go. Next trailer.
Oh, thanks, man.
I didn't know they're gonna do that to you.
We'll see.
Yes.
Oh, I reacted to this on Game Engine.
Yeah, you put that cartridge in there.
Hang on, you watched a trailer on another show except for this one?
I'm sorry, it's a gaming
That's
thing.
blasphemous.
I'm so sorry. It's gaming.
That is blasphemy,
it was
Erica.
gaming, and it's for a TV show. I didn't know I was gonna have to watch it on here. We talk about movies.
Also, if I jump in the pool,
sorry.
I'm taking Ryan's shorts
I
with
still
me.
love you, baby. You know you're my number one.
Oh, yeah.
I love these retro trailers.
Oh, I'm so happy looking at the
Oh, this
Nintendo.
is incredible. This is incredible. Watch this.
Oh.
Can we skin Netflix like this for a month, please?
Right? I hope they do some sort of promotion for this.
So cool.
I want to play 8-bit House of Cards.
Yes.
Oh,
shit.
all right. Yeah.
There is a darkness upon the land.
Oh, it's an anime. Is it animated?
Oh yeah.
A savior
It's
is needed.
a beautiful anime.
Who are you?
film because it really is the place where you can and he says in the beginning of the trailer he's trying to hide. It's the perfect place to go and hide. But this is actually based at Lake of the Ozarks. We're from Ozark County. Lake of the Ozarks is in the middle of Missouri. Ozark County is on the Missouri-Arkansas border. So it's kind of there's a bit of a different definitions of where the Ozarks are, but Lake of the Ozarks is one of the biggest party lakes in the country. But this was actually filmed mainly in Georgia. All those shots in the beginning were aerial shots of Lake of the Ozarks, but then all of the other shooting happened in Georgia.
That's been happening a lot. Georgia's standing in for
Lots
the
of
South
tax
a lot
breaks
just
there.
because of tax breaks.
Yeah.
Wow.
That in Louisiana as well.
Yeah. Looks really cool though. I like those types of shows where it's
Yeah.
it sets up really just tone, and you have to kind of dive into the show to be like,
That was a
well,
good trailer.
follow us for the rest of the adventure. And I'm like, I'll see you there. Damn you. All right. I think this might be the last trailer. I could be wrong though.
Of all the creatures in the world, the human animal is the most dangerous.
The strain.
Fortunately, a new species has risen to supplant them. I still can't believe we lost.
Yeah.
What the hell are they up to?
The world is dying. You are his last hope.
These terrorists will be hunted down.
If we waited for the perfect moment to revolt, it would never happen.
I call this a win.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for you.
Not into it! Not into it! I'm out!
I used to watch the show. I watched I think it was the first 2 seasons. I actually really dug it. It's based on a comic book or a graphic novel, right?
Cool. I don't know.
No, I figured you would know.
Oh, this is the one that has the really gross billboard, right?
Yeah, that's really with an eye and needle.
And it was it was good in the first. It was good in the first season. I really dug it. Corey Stoll, it plays an interesting character, and then you see all these other characters come around him, and then you see this whole underworld vampire sort of world, and exactly what they're trying to do and take over, and it has a really cool supporting cast. Kevin Durant is great. I really like Kevin Durant. I don't think he does enough.
Oh, he's
I don't think
fantastic.
he gets enough credit for
he's
how
so
great
good.
he is.
I saw him at Target once, and I was like, "Hey, it's that guy from TV."
Yeah, it's a really cool show. I honestly thought the show was over. I did not know that it was actually still going on. Oh, it's an actual novel. That's what it was. But I think they did turn it into a graphic novel at some point.
Probably.
So it's the 4th season. So I don't know. I eventually would like to go back and binge watch this show. The visual effects were actually pretty damn good because you had all these creatures and stuff, and it was a pretty spooky show. It's got a little corny sometimes, but you really follow this father's. I think it was a father, and I think Corey Stoll had a son on the show. And all these people started getting infected and stuff, and it's pretty cool. I really dug it.
I can never be a doctor because I don't like looking at a bunch of blood. And there were just bags of blood, and the worst thing I hate seeing is a vein with a needle in it, and then it's going to a blood thing. I'm like, ugh. I don't know. Something about that makes my arm feels weird.
Yeah,
not your thing.
Very strong.
Yeah, not my thing.
I have very strong sense memory, and so seeing violence.
When it comes, for me, it's not. It's I can handle just decapitation and things that Alien, and I can handle things like that. But when it comes to these little probing stuff, and then just I don't know, something about that grosses me out, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
Adam, do we have the Star Trek Discovery trailer on the docket for tonight?
Maybe.
Okay.
No, not my blood. That's what I would say if they.
I'll probably have to pull that up on YouTube.
Okay.
If that's okay with you,
Good,
Lucas.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm playing the next trailer, by the way.
Oh yeah. Such a good trailer.
Enemies to the east. Enemies to the west. Enemies to the south. Enemies to the north. Whatever stands in our way, we will defeat it. We're the last Lannisters. The last ones who count.
I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms.
against the coming storm.
If we don't put aside our enmities and band together, we will die. And then it doesn't matter whose skeleton sits on the Iron Throne.
Oh yeah, baby.
The Great Wall is here.
The Great Wall. That was a fucking phenomenal
That's an amazing trailer, and there's so much to dissect in each of those little scenes. Like so much to dissect in each of those scenes for Game of Thrones fans.
Yeah.
Oof. Wow. I don't know. I am a huge Game of Thrones fan. I read the books like a while before I watched it, but the past couple of seasons I've not cared for as much. They ran out of book, and so I feel like they have to keep shocking and awing us with kind of television tropey things. And a lot of stuff is feels kind of cliche. But I'm still really excited about this. I'm still really excited about it. I mean, that looked amazing.
Yeah,
it
it
was
looks
amazing.
great.
And
Fucking
like
cinematic as hell.
Cersei has always been a fascinating character for me. So the fact that it focuses so much on her and her isolation is really exciting for me. Yeah. Oh.
I think I'm pretty excited about it. That war, if anything, the throw that we get from the last season, the war between the Bastard Brothers is that what an incredible
Bastards, yeah.
in episode visually.
That was a great episode.
One of the, probably one of my favorite fights war scenes. It was if that's the bar that we set, what's gonna be I'm excited for the final what we were saying with the dragons and stuff. How are they? What's gonna be the cinematography on that? How do we up it? We set the bar. Now we had to heighten that into how do they do that?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah, the vote options are, again, watch it immediately when it comes out, get to it eventually, or skip it. I'm going to say skip it only because I don't like Game of Thrones. I watched the entire first season. The winner was binge.
What don't you like about it?
It's just not for me. And I would probably not invested or in whatever enough to catch up seasons 2 through whatever because I'm
it's a lot to catch up on.
But it looks so good. I'm so stoked that people love it as much as they do.
I couldn't get into it for a while, man.
Yeah.
I totally understand why.
Yeah.
For me, I couldn't digest who everyone was. I was like, who's who?
Yeah.
It took me 2 seasons to figure it out. I was
to me, the lore is such a draw for me, and just the complicated house and genealogies and everything is great. I really loved what they did in a lot of the early seasons of rounding out characters that were a little flatter in the books up to a certain point. But yeah,
cool.
This just ended up being a little bit too much violence and death, I guess, just in non-strategic ways, I guess.
Adam, do you watch the show? Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I have only seen 2 episodes of this show. I watched it when it was out in theaters. They had one of the finales and one of the premieres, and they aired it as a movie. It was a 2-hour movie. I really dug it, but I was so behind
you didn't
already.
know what the hell was going on?
Yeah, the visuals. It is a very, very well-produced show. The visuals are beautiful.
Yeah.
It has really good cinematography. The characters are intriguing because they are different. But I agree. With those types of shows, because the characters look so similar, it's really hard for me to follow who's
Especially
who.
the beardy guys.
And not just
the beardy guys.
Right.
And for me, it was even just the character. It was wait, this person's related to this family, but then they're related to this. It's
let's just be honest, y'all. All white people look alike. All white people look alike, and all white people sound alike, and all white people have the same accent, and it's tough to keep track.
So, will I go back and watch this show at some point? Maybe. Because I think they're saying it's going to go, 8-9 seasons?
Oh, maybe. I thought this was...
I totally agree,
2 more
Pablo. I
seasons
totally
left,
agree
I
with that.
believe.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
whoa, Lucas, I didn't know you had a twin brother. That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm totally going to jump in the pool with Ryan's George,
I don't know.
dude.
Maybe
There's
maybe
2 of them.
Maybe at some point I will go back and rewatch it. From what I did see, I did like. But again, it's one of those things there's so much television, and I get it that people love Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I'm not the biggest fan of having to follow a show week to week to week. I love the Netflix style of just being able to throw on Netflix and all 10 episodes are there. I can binge it in a day. I don't have time to follow shows. As much as I would love to, It's the whole reason why I fell off the train of like Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, and all that stuff. It's
and listen,
too hard to
a
follow.
Game of Thrones season, that is an intense, packed 10-hour day.
It
It's
is.
rad and it's really cool, and it might be easier to keep track of. You know what I mean? If you're binging it all.
That's how
'cause
I
you
did it.
know-
I actually binged it.
You actually binge it,
Yeah.
and that's a great way to do it as well. I think Game of Thrones is a great show that you can do week to week, but it is also a great binge experience because it's a great show.
I even because my girlfriend got me to watch it because her family like loves it.
Yeah.
I finally sat because after trying a couple times,
Sure.
I couldn't get into it. She finally watched it because they gave me literally
Like
a
a
page
chart
this
to keep
long
track
of
of.
all like the connections of all the characters. I'm like, oh, so this person's
That's
this
the thing
person.
is
Like,
that
oh my
in
God.
the books, there's like a glossary and a genealogy table,
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
really cool. That's cool that
and,
their family tried to. I've honestly
right,
had this thought. I thought, would I ever truly go and like watch this show? And I thought, even if my significant other, the person who I love most in the world, was like, "You have to watch the show," I would be like, "No, no, thank you. Go watch it. Have a great time. Like I'll be in the corner reading a comic book. Like it's fine." Like I've even had that thought of like, I feel like that's the only way I would do it. But then I was like, nah. It's cool.
You're,
like-
you're
Not
a
for
guy
me.
who can keep track of all the Marvel
that'll be
storylines
my stuff.
and stuff. I feel like you could do Game of Thrones if the passion was there, but
here's for me, I like to multitask. That's why I'm always up to date with like all the superhero stuff because like you can easily like play your DS and like, oh, I know what's going on. Game of Thrones, you cannot.
No,
you have to watch
you
it.
gotta have a notepad.
That's the
and take
thing,
notes.
though. I'm not that type of person. Like, so I spent this weekend packing up stuff because I'm moving. I put 6 movies on. I could not pack while I was moving. It was impossible. I'm the type of person that like if I throw on a movie, I have to watch it.
Yeah,
I have to
I
watch
get
it. Like I don't know. I can't. As much as I try to, I can't. I don't know. It's just me. Like if I'm gonna put something on, I have. Even if I'm just like working and I put on the TV, I turn it off because I'm like, why do I have this on? I'm not paying attention to it. I need to be 100% invested.
No,
So
never said I was too cool for
That's
Game
my
of Thrones.
flaw.
I'm too much of a sweet little boy. It's not for me. That's all.
too many
Yeah,
boobies.
so, yeah,
Too many
and
boobies.
you know what's crazy? Like, dude, like
too many brothers and sisters fucking.
I
Yeah.
totally understand why. Like, it makes sense
Sorry.
why you wouldn't like it. Like,
Yeah.
I totally get it.
It's a
you
show
know?
about awful people, but it's delicious. But it's awfulness. It's just a lot, and that's fine. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
fucking
become a
love
little.
how
It's become a little bit of misery porn, but
so many people are so into it. And talk about good-looking high fantasy. Never in
it
10
did.
years.
It totally set a bar for
Come on.
television.
So good.
Period.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But I'm just a little baby boy.
Let's get into some trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready for trivia?
Do it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Get ready to trivia.
We got to get those buzzers. Rai-Rai's running out right now.
Let's
got it.
get ready
He's on
to
it.
trivia.
So here's the deal. Let me pull up my little document here.
Colin's
We
sick, I think.
have, let's see, 9 questions right now.
All right.
So I'm going to start the questions, and by the time I get to the end of those questions, I am stopping. So
How about this? How about this, Lucas? How about Matt and I do a quick non-spoiler review? Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead
You wanna do
Men
that
Tell
first?
No Tales. While we stall to get maybe some more questions to trickle in. How about that?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm
let's do
down
it.
with that.
Okay.
So let me go over that real quick then. So guys, for $25, you can tip. If you're tuning in right now, we're about to go into a spoiler. Spoilers or no spoilers?
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoiler
There's
review
people here who
of
haven't
Pirates
seen
of
it.
the Caribbean.
Yeah. We
And,
can do
and there's
spoilers.
like legit spoilers in the movie. Like there are things that like if I were to say you'd probably be like,
Oh shit.
I was gonna see that. So yeah.
So yeah, you will have maybe 3 to 5 minutes to submit a $25 trivia question. So you can tip $25, support the channel with a trivia question that's related to TV or movies, and in about 5 minutes we are gonna go over those questions and we will quiz the cast here.
All right.
So go.
All right.
Matt and I talked about this movie. I invited him to come on the show because it was like we both walked away with like it was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah,
had
I
a good
enjoyed
time
it.
with it.
Yeah, me too.
It's like a dumb, it's not the best Pirates movie.
There's
clearly.
definitely like a lot of issues like with all the other pirate movies, but I mean, I
all the
still
sequels, at least.
yeah,
for sure.
like
The
it's,
first one is perfect.
Perfect. Like even the first one though, like it's a great adaptation, but even the first one has like moments in it, I'm like where okay, like you know, but that's not a bad thing. That doesn't that doesn't ruin a whole movie for me. And I think the first hour of this film I think is really strong.
Great opening.
It's
Great
an incredible opening. We get one of the most Jack Sparrow-y scenes.
Ginger Peony says it wasn't as bad as I was expecting.
Yeah, it wasn't.
We get
That's
a
what
very
everybody's
Jack
been
Sparrow.
saying.
Yeah.
Because everybody, I think this is a franchise that has, I kind of get it, especially after the bloated sequels 2 and 3. Everybody shits on this franchise. Everybody shits on it. I've nobody has seen movies 4 and 5, everybody loves the first one and holds it with a very high regard, and I totally get that, and that's valid.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, I think there's other franchises that are better targets, frankly, and I feel like this one is the franchise as a whole not as bad as you think, but not as great as the first one. / I don't think that first movie is as great as people kind of remember. When you watch them all back to back, you're like, I think they're a little bit closer in terms of quality than.
And that's not putting
think.
down the first one.
No.
I just think that the other ones are as
the first
raising
one
the other
on
one.
Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good.
That first one's incredible.
I would almost challenge you or ask you then to, like, now that you got that first one fresh in your head, go make yourself watch 2, 3,
the other
4,
one.
5
Yeah.
and be like, do they stray as far as we say?
Blondie gave me the rundown of what 3 was, because I only saw 2.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was like, whoa, there's a lot of things going on in here.
Yeah.
And 3 apparently was like, oh God.
Super racist. Racist.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then in 4 and 5, again, they're not fantastic movies. I would own 4 and 5 along with 1. I do own 1 and 4. They fix a lot of the problems that people had with like 2 and 3. Like they at least attempt to address that part of the thing of Jack Sparrow not being as important as a figure as he is.
Yeah.
Good.
My biggest issue with the movie is that if you're gonna, I think the way Jack Sparrow really works, and we kind of mentioned this in the beginning, is that Jack Sparrow needs to be a side character.
Yeah.
He needs to be a catalyst. He's a catalyst. Yeah, exactly. Who like through his experience, he boosts like in his sure, he's quirky and weird, but like
he's always one
he's
step ahead of everybody.
He's always one step ahead, and I feel like they wanted to do that but didn't commit to that.
I get it.
Because I like the 2 leads that we had for the new movie. The girls great.
They're way better than the guy in Mermaid in Part 4 that nobody remembers. And
I don't
the
remember
guy
that.
went on to I think he's in Legion and he's Beast now. I think that's that same guy. Or no, he was the guy that was in Me Before You, the movie with Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's
actress, whatever. So like nobody but like the new cast, if you throw that picture up again, the new 2 characters that are coming in are number 1, the son of Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. He's on the far right, and like he's a good-looking kid and he does a fine job. And I like that character more than, frankly, than Orlando Bloom's character. I'm not a big Will Turner fan. I didn't like that character.
I love Will Turner was perfect in the first one because he just does everything he needs to be. He's just this like kind of
and then he sucks
simple,
into it. He sucks.
kind of simple,
Yeah.
prototypical, archetypal hero, lovesick hero.
I'm with you, Ginger. The woman was good. The guy was kind of bland.
Yeah, but the woman was so great. And
Karina Smith.
And Karina, I wish they like what I got was great.
Yeah.
The moments with her are great.
Yes.
She does a fantastic job. She kind of, I think she like kind of carries everyone a little bit.
Agreed.
I just wish that they committed to those characters. Like send the other characters off. Like let these be your main characters. Put more focus on these 2.
And I gotta also mention Jeffrey Rush returns as Captain Hector Barbosa, and in each of the movies that he's been in, the character has evolved and is a different. And now he's the sort of washed-up pirate who he's kind of being taken over, and he's become complacent. He does a great job. He does a great job.
And I gotta say that the bad guy Javier Bardem, he is the first villain since the first one who actually has like a reason and it has motive for what he's doing. Like
the best villain since Jeffrey Rush's first villain. Everybody loves Davy Jones. I didn't like the character visually, looks stunning, but then you put Javier Bardem in a little bit less makeup but with cool CG. He's always underwater hair. And I thought he looked rad. His pirates looked awesome.
And they weren't like sea creatures. Like they were, because Davy Jones' crew is like humans.
Yeah.
But there's like a seashell head,
They
dude.
look
that's
like
weird.
street sharks and shit.
These are like they're just human ghosts.
They're like half blown through like dead pirate ghosts, and they look cool. Then they run on water, and they have ghost zombie sharks, and that looks rad.
Yeah.
And it's a silly pirates movie. Stuff in the second and third acts.
This gets weird. It gets really crappy.
The guillotine scene was dope.
The guillotine scene in the first act, guys, the first hour is really strong.
So good.
And then it. Like I said, Jack Sparrow seemed to be like important later on, but then he just kind of dragged him along, and he didn't. What for me the biggest problem with this film is that we didn't have any of that witty like street smart that Jack Sparrow that makes him that justifies like that he is a good pirate, that he like my favorite moment is probably from the first one. I talked to you about this. Is that when him and Will Turner try to take the ship, and they're like. They're like, we're here to take the ship, but it's actually a diversion because he's going to take the faster ship.
Yeah.
Like that to me.
Less than 3.
Oh, great! Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, awesome! Thank you.
That's awesome.
Like the whole you're the worst part I've ever seen, but you have heard of me. Like I didn't see any of the in this movie. I didn't see any of that that character. I didn't see he lacked the What's the word I'm looking for?
I get it.
The
I don't know, that in control, that sort of factor of like
validation. It doesn't validate that.
I see how they built up the character.
Yeah, I think like
sure.
and he, I just think it was a bummer for me. He was like in the second and third act, just kind of like a waste. Personally, but like I said, the girls, the other characters really lifted up. There's some weird moments. I'm like, why is this in there? It doesn't make any sense. We could have taken that out. Like you would.
But overall, I think that for me, it's gonna make it the second best Pirates movie after the first one because there's some emotional moments that were really surprising. That I was like, okay. And the villain to me was better than Ian McShane, who played Blackbeard in the fourth one, where somebody in the chat said he didn't have time to develop, and I 100% agree. So, and I think that Javier Bardem was the best part of this movie. No joke. He delivered lines that were like really goofy and silly, but he's such a good actor that.
Yeah.
Oof. And you said also that you and Chris Bermonte watched the movie, and at the end of it, you're like, I'm in for another one. If you guys make another one,
yeah, I would totally watch it.
I would watch it. I think they should do the next one and kill off Captain Jack.
They should
I think
totally
that's how
do
they
that.
should promote it because they also sort of brought back into the fold Will Turner, Elizabeth Swann, maybe potentially. Will Turner's Davy Jones cursed right now, but you know, through the events of this movie, maybe he's still cursed, maybe not. But there's a potential that Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley could come back. You know that if they do another one, they're going to put them on the poster with Johnny Depp to be like, your favorite three characters that you give a shit are back.
Yeah.
And their kid character, kind of this other Turner kid, and in this one, Johnny Depp dies, and then people will go see it.
Yeah,
and it could be the best one.
Yeah, and like guys, look, if you like the pirate movies, you'll like this. Like, if you don't,
like the franchise,
you're not gonna like. If you like
if
the
you
franchise,
don't like the franchise, but you only like the first movie, skip it and catch it later, and then try to watch the franchise.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, I like
Fast
the
and the
franchise.
Furious.
It's like
Fast and the
movies.
Furious.
Yeah,
Most of the
Blue's
Fast
great.
and Furious movies are not great, but they all help each other to be better. But
Yeah.
Fast
It's all
5
about
is
the
the one where I'm
family.
like, you could watch Fast 5 by itself. Here
Yeah,
you go.
interesting.
And that's the first Pirates. And then the rest of the franchise is like, if you sit through all these movies, you get benefited. It's kind of the same with the Pirates
Nice.
movies.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks,
That's
guys.
how I
I
feel.
think I might go see it.
It's fun. I really enjoy it.
Yeah,
Like,
can I see it in
there's
theaters or
some
should I
weird
wait?
moments. There's some
It's a good time in theaters. Yeah.
But it's a good time in theaters.
All
I think
right.
So. And say
Sounds
there's an
good.
after credits scene.
Ah,
Yeah.
always is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, are we good?
There actually always is.
Let's do some trivia.
All right. No more trivia questions came in. Thanks a lot, Internet. Just kidding. Just kidding. We love you. You're the best.
Same deal, though. I have 9 questions here. If you would like to submit a question, you need to do
don't
it
think I'm
by
ever
the
gonna
time I
wanna
get
get
to
one of
the end
these.
of my list. So you got maybe 2 minutes. All right,
Okay.
so
Okay.
rules are very simple. I'm going to read this question. I'm going to read who it's from. Whoever buzzes in first gets to answer. If no one's answered in the next, 5 seconds, then no one gets it.
Deal.
All right, here we go. Question 1 from Jabberwocky. What was the name of Data's daughter on Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Shit.
Oh man.
You just rewatched all this, right, Hector?
Like years ago. A couple years
5,
back.
4, 3.
I know this is incorrect, but lore?
That's incorrect. Close. Anybody else?
No.
Take that as a no. I'm reading Lal, L-A-L. Is that correct?
Lao?
I'm gonna
I guess
guess
it
it's
is.
correct.
I guess it's
Interesting.
Lao.
Interesting.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, everybody says it's Lal.
I know. I know. I'm disappointed
Nice.
in me too.
Cool. Question
fine,
2.
it's fine.
This one is from me. What was Philip J. Fry's nephew's name in Futurama?
Philip J. Fry.
Damn it!
Yep.
That's
You're
correct.
supposed to wait till the end of the question.
I was being polite. I was being polite.
Yeah.
Shit, my bad. Don't give
Nah,
that one to me.
nah,
Don't
you
give
don't
that
have to
one
wait till
me.
the end of
That's
the question.
fine. It's fine.
No, give that one to Erica. She did
No,
wait to the
no,
end.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Why is that? Why is his nephew named the same
We
thing?
all
We all-
know,
yeah.
Lucas. You don't have to
We
make
know,
us
it's
cry,
okay,
you
it's
son of a
okay.
bitch.
It's okay. I don't want to.
All
I
right.
don't want to relive that.
Well, this question's from Negihama. This CBS show in the mid-'80s used the Great Pyramids of Giza to transport a family to another planet/dimension. This CBS show in the mid-'80s used the Great Pyramid of Giza to transport a family to another planet/dimension. Matt.
Alf.
That is incorrect.
Oh well, it was.
Hector?
Stargate?
Incorrect. Erica?
Land of the Lost.
Incorrect. This seems obscure. I don't know.
Nope, I got nothing.
The answer is Otherworld.
Oh,
I
never
Y'all
heard
been
of
saying
it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great. Okay. Which movie featured this quote? God, Why is that any one decision always seems too small to be the biggest decision of your life?
Oh man.
Oh, I don't know that.
Hector.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
No.
That was a solid. That was solid.
Why is it that any one decision always seems too small to be the biggest decision of your life? Adam.
Not right, but I'm gonna say Bruce Almighty anyway.
Incorrect.
The Secret Life of Benjamin Button.
Incorrect.
Oh.
Good guess.
Good guess. You got a guess?
No guess. No guess.
All right. The answer was Before We Go.
Before We Go. Never heard of it. Also.
I've never heard of it.
All right, y'all. So the score is pretty much 1 to 0 to 0 to 0.
Great.
Here we go. You guys are getting stumped. Okay. From Coriolis. Oh, that last question was from Lord Schaffer. Thank you so much, Lord Schaffer.
Thank you.
Good work.
From Coriolis. Name the 3 MCU characters which appeared
Gotta wait till the end of the
I'm sorry, keep
on
going.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1 through 4. Matt.
All right. Lady Sif.
Yes.
Does Coulson count? I want to say Coulson counts.
And?
From the cinematic universe, right?
Yes.
Oh God.
Oh.
What was his name?
3 seconds.
From Captain America.
3.
What's
2,
his name? Oh
1.
my God.
Time,
Oh,
Hector.
God.
Hector for the steal. You only have to get one of them.
Dum Dum Dugan.
Incorrect.
No, that is
That's
correct.
correct.
He was
He
on
was in
Agents
it.
of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Yep.
and he's
Okay.
from the Marvel Cinematic
So
Universe.
3 of 4. Give me one more.
Nick Fury.
Peggy Carter.
Nick Fury was
Nick
incorrect.
Fury.
Nick Fury.
Right.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That was right in my, of course.
Let's
Jasper
let's split
Sitwell.
that. Let's split that. Everybody gets a third of a point.
He said the name of the show. Everyone drink or smoke.
Everybody gets a third
You
of a
said
point except
Coulson?
Erica.
Oh,
Erica
Sitwell.
now 0. Everyone else
Yeah.
1/3 of a point. Hector at
Jasper
1
Sitwell.
1/3.
Do I get
Okay.
2/3 of a point?
No, that's not how this is gonna work.
Okay.
It's funny.
Okay, this question from Megalo Blazemon. The sound of the velociraptors communicating with each other in Jurassic Park is actually the mating sound of what animal?
Is it orca?
Incorrect.
Fuck. Good talk.
What was the question? Because I zoned out.
The sound of the velociraptors communicating with each other in Jurassic Park is actually the mating sound of what animal?
That's really good. That's a
From
really
Megalo
good one.
Blazemon, he also says, good luck rewatching those scenes and not thinking about this fact.
Is it turtles having sex?
It is.
That's
Correct.
what it was. Damn.
Oh my God,
The answer is tortoise sex.
Damn it.
Good job. Good job.
I watched that
Well
video.
done,
in high
man.
school. It's fascinating.
That's good. That's good.
Turtles having sex.
All
Fascinating.
right, this question from Simi David 95. In the original pilot episode for Star Trek, the original series titled The Cage,
No idea.
the captain of the Enterprise was not Kirk. Who was the captain?
Oh, Erica got it.
Erica.
Captain Pike.
That is correct.
Yeah. But what was his first name?
Captain. That's what I have here.
Captain Pike.
Captain Christopher Pike.
Yeah, I wanted to say Chris, but then I was like, oh, that sounds like Chris Pine. Am I thinking Chris Pine? No, okay, it was Christopher. All right.
We have a three-way tie. Adam is the only one not included in that. Adam only has a third of a point.
You know, sometimes
Okay,
life,
all
life
right.
likes to throw unfortunate things at you.
This question from Big D Tex. The choreographer for the puppet actors in Dark Crystal in the full suites would later play one of the major characters from Star Trek TNG. Who was it? Let me read that again. It's formatted a little weird here. The choreographer for the puppet actors in Dark Crystal in the full suits would later play one of the major characters.
I got it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Deanna Troi. Oh, shit. That's wrong.
Incorrect.
It's not Deanna Troi. It's not Marina Citrus or whatever. Ah,
Yeah,
damn it.
it's Beverly Crusher, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Choreography is the thing I like. Yeah.
All
Cool.
right, so
Yay!
Erica currently in the lead. This last question, also from me. What was Fry's dog's name in Futurama?
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Seymour Butts.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got a tie, and I think we just have to leave it there because I got no other questions here.
Oh.
You know what?
Yay!
I gotta go back and check though real quick because nope, we didn't get any others.
Nope, we did.
Well done, everybody.
I'm really upset about
I'm
that
just
Agent
happy
Shield
with
question. I think it was like I got
There's
so
a bunch of-
overwhelmed because there's so many characters.
There's
I'm like,
Agent Coulson, Lady Sif, Nick Fury,
Sitwell.
Jasper Sitwell,
Dum Dum
Dugan,
Dugan.
Jim
Jim
Morita from the Howling Commandos as
Right,
well.
right.
And if you count the guy who was in the MCU short Item 47.
Oh yeah, he's in it. Oh, and Hill.
Maria Hill.
Maria Hill.
Did she show up in? Yeah, she did. She was
showed up.
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., so Maria Hill. But then I forgot the agent's name, the guy who was that pepper-haired guy who was like, sorry, Agent Coulson died. Like that guy. There's a bunch.
Guys, like there's so many. It's like I got overwhelmed in the heat of the moment.
Next time-
Peggy
next
Carter counts.
Peggy Carter counts, yeah.
Next time I'll have my staff. We'll cross-reference and make sure that we got the correct
That's a good
answers.
idea.
on
Got it.
these.
Dude,
My staff back here will take care of
Cuban
that.
rum and Inca Cola, dude. Salute.
I like that.
That's what I grew up on. Oh, you're not the Cuban rum
The
part.
president from Iron Man 3 was in it. President Ellis. That's amazing.
Oh, Ellis was, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Very cool.
All
Malik.
right, guys, that was the trivia.
Well, boom, there you go, guys.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Make sure you guys tune in next week. We're going to be talking about Wonder Woman, obviously. Next week's episode might very well be themed as well. Check out our spoiler review. It'll drop on Friday on the YouTube's channels. And I think that's pretty much it for now. Obviously, Patreon, guys. Check out the Patreon. Become a patron. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff. We have camera's not here, so I don't want to announce it, but we're going to be doing some stuff with audio commentary. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Lucas, any other housekeeping?
No.
Okay. Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate it
was
very
fun,
much.
man.
Oh, do we have a winner for the art?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we are giving away.
Oh
Danny's
yeah,
giving away some sweet
Danny's art.
How do we want to do this,
active in the
Lucas?
chat.
Do we want
Active in
people
the
to just
chat
be
room.
active?
Yeah.
Be active.
Be active in the
Be
chat.
active.
Be active.
Wait, don't leave yet. Ginger, you could win a frame thing.
Ginger left it, and now she's going to be like, no.
By the way, the frame, it's like got the sweet
nice.
gold border.
It's made out of Amazonian something.
and this bad boy,
Ooh, that bag.
the bag. It's
Who's
not.
gonna win? Who gonna win it? Activity.
It's definitely not the Westworld
Ooh.
logo. It's the Wonder Woman logo.
It's definitely not
Or
Wayland
Weezer.
Yutani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Wonder Woman.
Guys, also make sure you guys are, if you are a subscriber of here on Twitch or if you're on Patreon, make sure you guys are jumping into the Discord because we're in there, and I've been talking to a lot of people about movie stuff.
Yeah.
And if you guys have suggestions or ideas for the show, if there are things you would like to see, Lucas and I have been working on trying to come up with new things for the show every week, little bits and segments. We've been doing the movie trivia. That's been going well. Just let us know because we want to make sure that you guys are also really enjoying the content that we're doing on this show every single week.
I just love the way that Whitney is active in the chat. Pick me, my dude. That's so funny. Love it.
Pick me, my dude.
Thank you,
The
Bronco
winner
Bus.
is Pablo88.
What?
Pablo. Yeah, Pablo.
Pablo _88.
Congrats.
I love Pablo. He had some
What?
strong opinions about the topics we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that was great.
but
Thank you for
he had
doing that.
He engaged in a great discussion, and he was like, that might not be for me, but I'm not going to knock that thing. So good on you,
Yeah.
Pablo.
Yeah.
Nicely done, bud.
Super great. That was fun, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
And on the
much.
Discord,
Where
too,
can everybody find you?
You can find me here at Hyper RPG on Thursdays and Fridays at 1 o'clock p.m. streaming gaming. Thursday, do Nintendo games. Friday, I usually play with the community. Sometimes I play Mario Kart with the community too. So if you on the Thursdays, so you can find me there. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, at twitch.com or twitch.tv as well. All at Shy Guy Express. You can find me doing that, and you can check out my podcast, Vault A113. It's my improvised post-apocalyptic Disney podcast.
Oh,
It's rad.
What?
Yeah, check it out,
blowing
man.
minds one day at
Vault
a time.
A113.
I love that.
Nice,
That's a
nice.
good ref. That's a good ref.
Yeah.
Man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching with us. Thank you for Lucas for running everything back there, and for especially he has pneumonia. Not really, but we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.